Hey, Nate here from Animorphing Time. So, just a heads up, we bank our podcasts. It's a great strategy for allowing us to have a week off if we need to take a week off. It's nice for me because I edit these podcasts and it gives me a little bit of a buffer if I want to be slow in editing a podcast. But as a result, we don't talk about current events. I think the first episode we recorded, we mentioned the primaries, which seem like far ancient history right now. I honestly can't even remember when the primaries were a thing, because my brain is melted. So, as a result, these podcasts don't talk about important current events. So that's why I'm recording this message to you now. Black Lives Matter. I'm going to say it again. Black Lives Matter. It's important for every single person to be saying this right now. I didn't do one of these for coronavirus because it was a force of nature that we had no control over. But the current wave of police brutality and the prior centuries of systemic racism have come to a point where we can't be silent about it. Hopefully this is the last one of these headers I'll do to address current events. But it's important for every single one of us to acknowledge that there are problems that need to be addressed right now. So, again, I'll say it because we all need to keep on saying it. Black Lives Matter. So, enjoy this podcast. Participate, and stay safe out there, folks.
They can't tell you their names. They can't tell you where they live, but in the mid to late 90s, these 5 teenagers can turn into animals to fight an invading army of evil brain slugs. 5 dumb teens are the only thing standing in the way of complete annihilation. This is Animorphing Time with Nate and Tyler.
Get your hand off my girlfriend, you yeerk-brained bastard!
This is for Daddy. Make it like half the bottle.
Catherine Alice Applegate wouldn't want this. Doesn't want this. Blah, 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 blah.
And like they're like, no, stop shooting at children.
Oh man, being 12 was weird.
Yeah, welcome to Animorphin Time.
Welcome to Animorphin Time with Nate and Tyler.
Yeah.
That's Nate. I'm Tyler.
Yeah, that's me. Nate. Welcome.
Still Nate.
Still Nate, still Tyler, still Animorphs.
Still Animorphs. We're at number 6.
Number 6. Lucky number 6.
Lucky number... Yeah, I've heard that before. That's a common thing. Lucky number 6.
Yeah. We've made a full loop in the Animorphs.
It's one more than 7. One less.
Yeah, okay.
I can't do math. Yeah, we did the full loop.
We did the full loop, and what I mean by that is this is a Jake book.
This is a Jake book, everybody.
Oh, God. So it went... Well, because we've done all of them now. We've done all 5.
We've done the 5 Animorphs.
Jake, we've done... Wait, it went Jake, Rachel, Tobias, Marco...
Cassie Marco.
Yeah. And now it's Jake. And that's real bad. That's unfortunate.
This is... If you're reading along with us, just like to say sorry.
Yeah.
I would say this is a great book about a bad character.
Yeah, the first note I have on my notebook is... the first line says... I'm Jake. Because they're doing the dumb, like, letter to the future thing, and the first note I wrote was, fuck.
It's not good. But before we
let's talk about the cover.
Before we jump into this, let's say that tonight, or today, or whatever time you might be listening to this in the future, past or present, we are drinking some Dunham Cellars 2016 Trutina Red Blend.
Ooh, I love blends.
I can't pick a favorite wine, so that's why I get ones that are just mixed.
Is it a Syrah? Is it a...
there is
a Pinot Grigio?
There's 45% Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
I do know how to say that. I'm just not going to say it right.
Yeah.
40% Merlot. 12% Malbec. And 3% Cabernet Franc.
Blend.
So
it's just like what they had hanging around.
Yeah.
Put it in the bucket, everyone. Here's some trash wine for trash boys.
Hold on. Yeah, that works out to about 100%, I think.
Yeah, like, what if it added up to like 98 with like a margin of error 2%?
Oh, that's just the vintner's cum.
All right, let's get a nice pour. Yes.
To go with our wine,
Okay.
we picked a very appropriate snack to go with our wine, because what pairs better with a red blend than chocolate?
Yeah. Pretty good.
As you can-
like, hold on, wait, not just any chocolate.
Not just this happens to be my favorite candy.
It's the Cadbury mini egg.
The Cadbury mini egg, those hard, crunchy milk chocolate little pieces of shit. They're so good.
They're good.
These were 69 cents as eBay.
Nice.
Or Vaughn's if you live in a place where it's called Vaughn's. Is that good?
That's some good ASMR.
Good.
Everyone, just like, I'm going to release a loop of that if you want to fall asleep to some good smacking.
Yeah, so we're having chocolate and wine today.
Yep.
Because we need something comfortable after having to be in the mind of Jake.
Very true. Listen, we're not the only ones that were in the mind of Jake this episode.
That's also true.
Like, because here's the thing. When I started reading this book, the title, the very beginning of the cover.
The capture.
The
capture with the tagline.
Now he's one of them. So you kind of know immediately what's going to happen in this book.
Yeah.
He's going to get captured and become one of them.
And he's going to become one of them.
And he turns into a sick-ass fly.
Turns into a pretty dope-ass fly.
Right. Like, nothing as awkward as the gorilla in, like, the inside cover. He's just, like, a fly in a barn.
He's a fly in a barn. It's some dorky-looking little white dork.
Yeah, I thought Jake looked cooler somehow.
Yeah, they always paint him as, like, he's bigger and tougher than everyone else. But you look at this book, and it's like, I can push that kid down.
No, he has, like, a comb-over, and he's wearing a turtleneck and long. He's wearing, like, a long-sleeve purple sweater.
When I think of a leader, I think of someone in a purple turtleneck with a fucking part in his hair.
Yeah. He's a purple Steve Jobs.
So, I mean, here's where we are in the story.
Yeah.
They recently stopped the Yeerks from doing something. Oh, yeah, they got on the spaceship.
Yeah, they escaped.
They escaped the spaceship.
Right.
So it kind of cuts ahead in time a little bit. They did their 5 stories about the 5 characters. Mm-hmm. Now, they bring in their least developed character to move the plot along.
Right, he is the empty vessel that is just good for moving plot.
Yeah, that's it, because Jake is not a person.
There's nothing to explore. Like, honestly, this would have been a great opportunity to explore more of Jake's character. Mm-hmm. But there is none.
Oh, I'm just here eating again.
Yeah, there you go. So just keep on smacking it there. It's good. Yeah.
All right, that's it for a bit.
I'm just chewing there.
But, and I'm sorry, listener, if you like Jake, if you see yourself as a Jake, you're fucking dud.
You see yourself as like a Leonardo in the Ninja Turtles. You're non-entity.
All right, on the count of 3, say your favorite Ninja Turtle. 1, 2, 3. Raphael.
Donatello.
Well, here we are.
Donatello's good. He makes machines.
Raphael's cool but crude.
None of them snatch eyeballs.
None of them take eyeballs.
None of them snatch eyeballs like nobody's business.
No. So, we're in the mind of Jake.
Yeah. So, what does he do? Like, what's the first chapter? Like, what's that introduction after the, I can't tell you my real name?
Yeah. He's like, I lie a lot. I'm Jake. I lie.
They do that first episode, like that first, like, intro thing, and then it moves on to
and
Tom and Jake talking about the
And
sharing.
honestly, you couldn't have been more correct with the first line of this book.
Yeah.
I'm Jake. I'm Jake. Just Jake. You don't need to know my last name, and I can't tell you anyway. My story is full of lies. I've changed people's names. I've changed names of places. I've changed small details here and there. Stupid.
Yeah.
Remember the Tobias book started?
Right.
He's like, I'm Tobias. I'm a freak in nature. Let's fuck. But yeah, they do that, the whole, we can't tell you who we are. We can't tell you what we're doing.
Right, we go back to the dumb plot of, like, Tom being captured by a yeerk.
Yeah.
He's got that yeerk brain.
He does.
And he wants to drag Jake out to the sharing because, you know, they do barbecues. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
It's like, don't you want to do community service and barbecue?
Hey, we're going to clean up the beach and do a barbecue, and I can show you the world. That's his hard pitch. He's like, we can be best friends.
Yeah, like, I'm surprised that they didn't make the sharing a bit more attractive.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
In some way. Like, they definitely do a guilt trip thing.
yeah,
Like,
for sure.
There's the whole, like, hey, don't you care about your community? Haven't you thought about something bigger than yourself?
Yeah.
Right?
And that works. Even Jake says that works for some people, but not me, because I'm Animorph.
Yeah. He almost pretty much says, like, listen, I don't want to power your sharing. I like individual thinking.
Yeah, he's like, I like to be a nothing little individual kid.
I definitely don't want to have a hive mind with slug brain.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Jake, you're giving it away.
He's so fucking stupid.
He's so dumb. I'm like, how has he not gotten caught already? Why is this happening now?
Well, I mean, he gets caught pretty early.
Wait, hold on. Name a book he doesn't get caught.
No, he's been caught in all of them.
He's been caught in every single
They've
book.
all been caught, pretty much.
Yeah, well, except for, like, Tobias doesn't really get caught all that much. No, a lot of them, like, tend to escape, except for Jake.
Yeah, Jake is...
He's the worst member.
But he talks about his brother.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought when they introduced the idea of controllers and you find out Tom's controller in the first book,
right.
I thought it was handled poorly. He's like, my brother is acting weird. This is so... wow, how did I not notice my brother was different? In this book, he mentions Tom is the same. He's just the same old Tom.
Right.
So it was more creepy that there's this alien inside of his brother. I thought it was way better articulated in this book than any of the other books because... One, you get a yeerk inside of a main character's brain, and also, I think Kathy Apples has realized making them seem normal instead of slightly off is a much creepier thought than having them be just a little copy of themselves.
Well, it's the whole body snatchers, the thing kind of paradox of, like, how do you know when somebody is themselves or not, right? Because you don't.
You don't.
You don't know who is controlled.
Right.
Right. And well, we only know that Tom is controlled after their, like, weird escapade where they, like, went stompy around in the first book.
Yes.
But, like, so I guess Jake is listening in on their phone calls and has learned that the yeerk controller that's in Tom's brain is moving up the corporate ladder.
Yeah, he's a company man.
He's a company man, and, like, he just got up in the rung a little bit more.
Which, that just sort of... Now... Jake puts this together. I mean, honestly, that was kind of clever, doing star 69 to figure out where Tom is calling and who's calling Tom.
Difference in books. I did not get the star 69.
Well, he called it, like, auto redialing or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what they called it in your book, but I was like, that's just star 69.
Right.
And younger listener, star 69 is when you'd get on a phone, you hit those buttons to see who called you. So that was a thing we had to do.
Yeah, it costed like a dime or something.
Yes.
It was expensive.
We're old.
How old are you?
34.
I'm also 34.
You're older than me.
Shit. So like, he is in spy mode. As best as he can.
As best as he can.
Which is not great.
No, he's bad at it, as he continues to prove over and over in this book.
Right, so he's like, okay, listen, I need to really get in close on their phone calls.
Yeah.
So what he does is, like, I'm going to be the perfect spy. I'm going to turn into a cockroach.
Yeah.
That he has in a matchbox for whatever reason.
Yeah. So he's like, I figured out my boss is the head bitch in charge of his little yeerk thing under Chapman.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn into a cockroach. We're going to spy on the sharing. So he goes to his fucking dresser. He's got a cockroach in there.
Yeah, like, why didn't he just acquire him earlier?
Yeah, he caught him in the matchbox.
You don't need to keep him for later.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Jake, you're dumb.
Anyways, he acquires a cockroach. He's like, ooh, it's gross.
He's like,
and then he's like, I don't, this is going to be very gross and weird, but I'm going to stand in front of a full body mirror and look at myself do it.
Yeah, he looks at himself. He's like, I don't know why I stood in front of this mirror. I probably shouldn't have done this. Oh, watching my skin harden and turn brown as I shrunk. Seeing the antennae sprout from my brain. Ugh.
Yeah, no, they do the normal, like, transformation. And there's some good transformations coming up here soon. But the cockroach one is just, like, he feels his abdomen turn into, like, weird red fat, and his skin gets hard and crunchy. And like, I don't have enough up-close and personal experience with cockroaches. Because we don't run into cockroaches here in the Pacific Northwest.
No, and when we do, we kill them.
Yeah, we just step on them.
We just step on them.
Yeah. We love killing cockroaches.
We love them. The only good bug is a dead bug.
That's right.
But here, I thought this chapter illustrated how little of an internal person there is inside Jake. Because at the very end of it, when he's about to turn into the cockroach, he says this. Tom, my brother, could I destroy my own brother? You don't have to make that decision yet, I said aloud. All you have to do now is try out this roach morph.
Why did he say it out loud?
He's talking...
like, why is he talking to himself?
Like, I mumble to myself.
Yeah.
But I don't walk around saying, today, I'm going to do my laundry.
Right.
You just have to do the laundry.
There's two things you do when you talk to yourself, right? It's either I need to pump myself up for something, like, okay, Nate, you can do this, and just go for it, right? That's a like self-motivation.
Yeah.
The other thing is to clarify your thoughts. Like, okay, I need to go pick up the laundry, I need to, mop the floors, that sort of a thing. This is just like, I'm going to do this now.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
I don't need to make any decisions today. I think I'll turn into a bug.
I'll figure this out.
Yeah.
And like he wants to do it alone because he doesn't want to burden the other group, I guess. Like,
which I fucking hate him because in all the other books he's been saying, we can't do this alone. Divided we fall, together we stand. You'd never do anything dangerous alone. And then this dumb motherfucker does this, almost gets himself fucking caught. He's a fucking hypocrite. He's dumb. There's no personality. And his fucking greatest fantasy later in the book.
So good. We'll get there.
All
right.
I fucking hate Jake.
Yeah, and like when he turns into a cockroach, he's so bad at just being a fucking spy. Because like what he does, he's a cockroach. He's like, great, I'm going to first feel out how weird it is to be a cockroach. The roach brain does its thing. Yeah. It's scared of light. It moves fast.
Yeah, he hears vibrations. He runs in the walls.
He realizes that he can't hear all that well, which I think is the funniest shit, because like he's here to spy on Tom, and he's just like, oh wait, I can't hear anything. It's just cockroaches don't have ears. They can feel vibrations.
They can, that.
So that's dumb, but he's like, I'm gonna go anyways. And then what does he do? Like the first thing he does,
he runs into a wall. Yeah. He feels up another cockroach.
Mm-hmm. They say what's up, which I thought was kind of nice.
It's like, oh yeah, we said hello, but cockroaches don't say hello, so we just rubbed each other's antennas. And then Jake books out, and then he's like, oh, I'm going to go, look, there's a big opening. I'm going to hide from the vibrations there. I'm going to go in this large barn.
Yeah, he says like, this is a large barn. Must be a matchbox. Yeah. Better go in.
Better hide in this matchbox.
Like, I would understand if the roach brain took over and he accidentally just freaked out and ran in there.
Yeah, because that's happened.
Right. But this is a conscious decision. He's like, human brain, I should go into this thing that is a large... So it's a roach motel. He goes into a roach motel.
He goes into a bug trap.
Disgusting roaches.
Don't worry. We're sending them to a motel.
To a motel?
Right. The Black Flag Roach Motel.
Right, which is... Do they even have roach motels anymore? Is that a thing? Where it's like shaped like a little hotel?
Because
that's kind of cruel and gross, now that I think about it.
It's cruel and gross. And honestly, I have no fucking clue.
Well, yeah, and... Because you have to clean that shit up.
Yeah.
Like, having like a glue trap is the kind of grossest thing I can imagine. Because like... Especially for rats and other large mammals, like they get stuck there, they starve and die.
Look, bait inside attracts roaches and water bugs. They get stuck and die. Traps full, throw it away.
Black Flag Roach Motel. Roaches check in, but they don't check out.
Kill roaches without poison, unpleasant odor, or mess.
And then they do the thing that I've noticed in Jake books, this happens the most. They do a smash cut to later that day.
Yeah, retelling his heroic escape
He's like,
from the roach motel.
I was stuck. I tried again. One leg was free, but the others were frozen in place. I felt around with my antennae. Now my antennae were stuck. I couldn't move. I couldn't move at all. I was trapped. Chapter 4. So, Rachel demanded, what was it? How did you get trapped? And it's like, yeah, fucking don't let us see the cool part.
Well, that's the thing, is that's what the hero in the story does. All of his friends gather around in admiration and listen to his story. And
when really
that's what happening here. Like everyone's like sitting around like, all right, tell us about your dumb shit.
And they get to gloss over that he completely fucked up. I mean, they do give him some shit about it.
Yeah.
Because Jake, he's like, well, I guess I'll just morph back into human. Turns out he's in this roach motel behind the refrigerator, morphing back into human, pushing the fridge out inch by inch as he morphs. Dumb.
Like, what else are you gonna do? That's the only like escape plan, right? It's just like there's no other option. He shouldn't have been there in the first place. Yeah. Like, how's he gonna get out? So he starts to transform, and he gets caught by his mom because they were out playing tennis. Because I guess like, do married couples like play tennis together? Is that it?
I don't know. I'm alone. Hey, married couples, write in. Let us know if you play tennis.
It seems like a mansion in the Hamptons kind of activity. Which, I don't know, I guess, like, well, their parents are well off, right?
They gotta be.
Yeah, so anyways, he's transforming behind the fridge, and his mom catches him, and he's like, Silly, what are you doing back there behind the fridge naked?
Yeah. Why do you have a roach motel on your head? Why are you hiding your body behind the fridge? But they just gloss over it and like, oh, it's fine.
Because there's no real escape there. Like, of course they're going to have questions. There's, like, it would have been a better story had he, like, had to explain, like, I'm in a treatment plan now. My mom thinks I'm on some serious shit.
Or maybe if the mom had not even been there and he just morphed back realizing this was a close call, I'm stupid.
Yeah, sure.
Like, that would have even been better.
You know, like, it's all an effort to make Jake interesting, and he's not.
He's not.
Instead of giving him interesting character things, they try to put him in interesting situations, and both fail.
And he makes the dumbest possible decision every time.
Jake sucks.
Jake sucks.
So, he's regaling the story to all the friends in Cassie's animal barn.
And they all laugh. They're like, aha, that's funny.
Because they all love Jake. They all admire and appreciate and want to be Jake.
Except Cassie, who admonishes him with probably the best advice you can give Jake.
What's that?
She gives him a look, and Jake recognizes it as meaning, I care about you, don't be dumb. I mean, that's all you need to tell Jake.
I give my dog that look.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I care about you. Don't eat garbage on the road.
Yeah, please don't. Please stop doing that.
So anyways, like, the end story of this is he learns some information.
Yeah, that Tom's been calling 5 different doctors, and it has to do with this new hospital, the Berman Clinic. Mm-hmm. And they realize that the yeerks are running this hospital, and that part of that could be to, when people have surgeries, put yeerks in their brains while they're out.
Yeah, so that's
like a yeerk farm.
That's the impetus of this whole book, is like, hey, we have the problem now. There's a yeerk farm in the hospital.
Right.
So now we need to solve that. That's kind of like the big push to do stuff in this book. And also, like, they know that Tom is kind of probably running the show. Yeah. Because they're aware that Tom has gotten kind of a promotion. Yeah. Well, Tom's yeerk.
They worry. Yeah, Jake's put it together that Tom could be fairly important now. So they're like, well, let's see what he can do.
Right. And now, like, they also go into a little bit, like, Jake's mixed feeling about the situation.
They do, and for the first time, I think since the book started, we get an explanation of how the yeerks do what they do in terms of being inside our bodies. Because Jake asks about it, and it's this. They can flatten their slug-like bodies, how they can sink between the crevices and cracks of a person's brain, how they melt like liquid onto every available space, how they wrap their bodies around the brain and attach their own neurons to human neurons. So they completely smooth out your brain. It's great. Frictionless. Sounds wonderful.
I'm just saying that it's going to be hard when Jake gets yeerkbrained. Like, there's just no surface to really clean onto. Like,
you're just going to slide right up the other ear.
It's going to slide right off. It's like, I've captured all your neural... Hey. Slurp. Yeah.
And I mean, that kind of happens.
It kind of does. It's, like, I don't
the
wanna...
yeerk constantly reminds him, hey, you idiot, I know your thoughts before you do. Stop talking to me.
We'll get there. There's a lot in the end of this book that is hilarious. But the beginning of this book, like, you know, it sets this whole thing up. So, like, it goes back to the happy family life after the whole roach incident, right?
Yeah.
They're having dinner. Dad, I guess, twisted his ankle because he was playing tennis too hard.
Right.
Because, again, that's a weird thing that couples do, I guess, is play tennis.
Yeah, sometimes I play tennis too hard. My ankle hurts.
I mean, your ankle does hurt. You broke your ankle.
It's Achilles tendonitis. It sucks. Don't get it.
And, like, they paint this, like, nice, like, Leave It to Beaver scene of just, like, what is the idealized version of family life.
Right, and this is the part that...
It feels so fake. Like, again, I don't have, like, the perfect model of what that looks like.
No, neither of us do, but I think that's what's so unsettling about this compared to the other books, because in this, it's like, oh, we're just a happy family.
Everything is perfect.
Nothing is wrong. Fine.
You went to Santorini's and you got the good cheesecake.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, Santorini's, Tom groaned. I take it back. I apologize. I grovel. I beg. I love Santorini's.
Right, and they're all playing around. They throw a dinner roll at...
They're playing with the dog.
And, like, this would be a great point, like, to bring out a little bit more of, like, Jake is having to lie constantly.
Yeah.
He knows that Tom has been yeerk-brained, and, like, playing out this scenario with a yeerk, like, with somebody he knows that is this malicious enemy that he wants to kill.
And, yeah, they do maybe, 2% of that?
Yeah, like, he has, like... He's like, oh, this is kind of weird, but, you know, Jake with his fucking simp mind. Like, he just plays along like natural. He slides into the happy family mode so easily.
Yeah, he's
dumb. He's so dumb.
I don't like him.
Right, and so, like, he gets the hard sell after dinner of, like, hey, listen, don't you want to do something greater with the
Don't you want to
sharing?
be something larger? Don't you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself? Make a real difference?
Yeah.
And that was probably the only part that I liked, because he does this. I stopped and turned to face him. I was one step higher than he was. We were eye to eye. Me, I wasn't doing much of anything, hanging out with Marco. Your loss, he said. There are things that are cooler than hanging out with Marco. Cooler than being on some bogus team. Important things. You could be a part of something. He gave me a look, like he could tell me incredible things, like he could open up a whole new world for me. I could be part of something bigger, something important. I knew that kind of stuff worked on some people. This was the first step to becoming a voluntary host. That was how the sharing started you out. Talk of bigger, more glorious, more interesting things that you could be a part of. And then he turns him down. For a split second after I said that, he let the mask slip. For just a moment, I saw an expression of pure arrogance and contempt. Yeerk arrogance, yeerk contempt.
So, like, my understanding of how yeerks take over brains is that they know everything you know.
Yeah.
They know how you would act and talk in any situation. I guess the spirit or the consciousness of the person is kind of trapped, but they know how to act natural.
Yeah.
But they can change into a thing like the yeerk consciousness is active and in control.
Yes.
And they get angry a lot.
Yeah, well, at least this one does.
Well, yeah, like it sounds
because
like
this is the same yeerk that's later.
Yeah, they have, but like my understanding is just all of them kind of have that. Like it's a trait among all yeerks where they just kind of are prone to arrogance and spitefulness and anger if you kind of get on that a little bit.
I'm gonna be that guy and say not all yeerks,
but some yeerks.
But most of the yeerks, but not all yeerks.
I'm just saying, don't trust yeerks.
No, definitely don't trust any of the yeerks, but they might not all be so bad.
Well, I guess they might be, like, clever. Right? You can probably find a clever yeerk that's probably better at hiding the shit. But, like, from my perspective right now in this book series, like, the way to get at a yeerk, and the way to tell if somebody is a yeerk, is to try to piss the yeerk inside your brain off. And that's what he's doing right now, is saying, like, you know, I don't want to be part of sharing. I like being my own self.
Right.
Yeerk.
I can see that. And
I'm an animorph.
We are not Andalite warriors. In fact, we are humans who can turn animals. Now, see, I wasn't so sure. I can see that argument for it.
Yeah.
But it might just be this yeerk. Temrash 112 or whatever.
Yeah. We'll get to Temrash.
Well, yeah, but
we'll get a nice up close and personal conversation.
We'll get
about
to know
Temrash.
him.
Yeah.
We'll get to know him pretty well.
We'll get to know him real soon. Anyways. So they go forth and they meet up and they do the thing that I've been yelling about for so long. They practice morphing before they do a mission.
Yeah.
They smartly, again, this is a great plan. They start the sharing hideout because they want to gather more information.
Yeah.
They don't want to go in blind like they've always done. Instead, they want to go to the sharing headquarters, which they know is the yeerk headquarters. Why haven't they been doing this the entire time? I don't know. But they do it, and then like, okay, what should we be? Cockroaches. Do we know how that will feel?
Right.
Let's practice.
Yeah.
And they just practice it, and I'm so proud of my boys.
And girls.
The gang.
They practice the morph, and they do something here. They make an excellent point. Jake says, I think Tom is a big dude with this group, and if we disrupt this evil plan, whatever it may be, Visser 3 will kill Tom.
Right.
Because they've seen, as soon as anyone disappoints Visser 3, our boy fucking cuts them in half.
Right.
Eats them, destroys them.
Yeerkbrained them.
ends their fucking existence.
Here's the thing. Yeerkbrained would be great because it only kills the yeerk. But most of the time, they just kill the host. They don't care.
Yeah.
Like, humans are disposable, really.
Yeah, especially to Visser 3.
Right. So they know that there's that risk that since Tom is now in a position of responsibility, he could easily be blamed if they go in and fuck up their plan.
Yeah, if they fuck that up, and Jake's like, well, we don't actually have to do this, and they all let him off the hook. He doesn't.
Well, no, he says that we don't have to decide now. Let's just spy.
Right.
But like, for a leader, he does a lot of non-deciding in this book.
Yeah, he's like, no, we'll just wait. We'll just see how this plays out. Because I'm a very passive leader.
We should definitely not have this conversation now when nothing's happening. Instead, have this conversation when it's necessary.
Right. It makes me think of... Do you remember Paul Giamatti from Shoot 'Em Up?
No.
Well, he was the villain. He was like the crazy evil villain who carried the large gun.
Right.
And they're rushing in to kill Clive Owen. And they're like... his goons are like, boss, why don't you wait and we'll go get him? And Paul Giamatti goes, those that lead from the rear, take it in the rear.
Are you saying that's Jake? Because
No,
that's not Jake.
No, I'm saying he's the hang back and do nothing guy. I'm saying even Paul Giamatti's better than Jake.
Right.
I didn't have a point.
No, that's a good point because like Jake is the type of person that wants to be self-sacrificing. Mm-hmm. When he tries, he does a bad job of it and needs to be rescued, or he never has a plan and he always relies on other people to do the leading.
Yeah.
Every single one of the Animorphs has had to make some tough fucking choices, except for Jake, because Jake says, "What do y'all think?"
Yeah.
And like, if it came down to, okay, we need to make a decision now whether or not to kill Tom, Jake would say, "I leave it up to the group," even though it's his own brother. He would do that.
You are so unintentionally foreshadowing some heavy shit.
Right.
But not
I don't know.
Not what you think.
I don't know nothing.
Not related to this, just Jake's leadership.
Yeah, Jake sucks.
In that way.
Jake is bad.
He fucking sucks.
He's a natural leader.
He's what you'd call our leader. He's just natural.
Have you seen his turtleneck? It's purple.
I mean, his best friend says he's got a confident, handsome chin. Or whatever the fuck he said.
They're practicing roaches. And they're doing the thing that Jake should have done first is, like, practice listening.
Yeah.
Right? Because I guess, like, I don't know if this is true. I did not look this up beforehand. But, like, could a cockroach actually hear, like, the way that sound works? Could they hear voices and... I know the human brain could interpret those things, like, you know, but like, can they actually hear the voice? It doesn't matter because they can.
Yeah, they can in this book. They somehow figure it out.
They do it through practice, which is nice. Good on them.
And then Jake does start to tell them about his dream, the dream that he has every night.
Right. So what is this dream?
So Jake has this dream every single night. He dreams that he's the tiger, and he dreams that he is hunting, and he can smell what he's hunting. Mm-hmm. And then he sees what he's hunting. He's hunting Tom.
Oh.
And then the dream changes.
Oh no. What happens? So he's stalking Tom.
He's stalking Tom.
He's about to, like, kill Tom.
About to kill Tom. Then he becomes Tom.
Ooh.
And himself, and he sees the tiger coming at him.
Predator becomes prey.
And the tiger gets him.
Oh no.
As the old Temrash 112 would say, it's very metaphorical.
It's very metaphorical. We love this dream. Somehow, this is the dumbest dream.
He
brings
it up all the time. He's like, again, I remember the coiled strength of my tiger body.
It is liquid steel.
About to eat my brother.
And, like, the thing is this means nothing throughout the entire book. Like, it's...
Nothing! It means nothing!
Like, I'm trying to, like, decide whether I'm just missing the metaphor. Because I could be. It's like, okay, yeah, you feel bad about maybe having to attack your brother, and you see yourself in your brother.
Yeah, and maybe attacking your brother is also attacking yourself.
But, like...
And your brother is also an enemy.
But, like, okay, but, like, why keep on bringing up this dream? Like, what emotion are you trying to convey? Author K. Applegate.
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to say to me, the person reading it? It's,
right.
Like, it's... There are some things that are good to leave up to interpretation.
Yeah.
And especially dreams, like, you know, we should be able to bring the way we read those to the book.
Yeah.
But there's no foundation for this. He just keeps on having a dream, but there's no real conclusion to the dream.
No.
Spoiler, there's no, like, real ending. It ends with this dream, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
But, like, it doesn't... expand upon it. It doesn't give new context to the dream. It's just, guys, I keep on having this dream.
I have a same dream every night. I dream I'm big tiger. I dream I eat my brother, but really I'm my brother and the tiger eats me. That's the dream. That's the dream. That's our dumb leader's dream.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it would have been so much more effective to just have it be, I'm hunting my brother, and I eat my brother, or I kill my brother.
Or, like, you know, okay, I'm hunting this person I think is my brother. I kill him. I eat him. I realize it's me.
Way better.
Like, because then you can bring all sorts of things to that.
Yeah.
But this is just, it's nothing. It's
Pablum. It's bullshit.
It's a metaphor for, I feel bad about fighting my brother. Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. Of course you feel this way. He's your brother.
It's the simplest possible emotion to have.
Right.
I do not like when I hurt people I love. Great.
Yeah, good point.
You got the basic definition of a good person.
Yeah, remember all the other character books that we've read so far where they bring up good points about like what it means to have post-traumatic stress after a stressful situation, or what it means to like gain confidence for a greater cause, to save the planet, to save all the animals on the planet, or just even the personal thing of like, I need to save my mom.
Yeah.
And even though have this narrow scope of people I want to protect, I need to protect them.
Yeah.
This is, I feel bad about, I might hurt my brother and that makes me feel bad. It's dumb garbage. It's so bad.
Jake is he's fucking dumb. He's got a smooth, frictionless brain, and he slides through this book like a fucking idiot.
He has the simplest emotions.
He's stopped our brains from working good.
That's right. It's his power. Maybe he'll, like, kill the yeerks that way.
Visitor 3 is going to be holding him, and he's going to say something like, "Do you have any last words?" And he goes, "I do not think I would like to die today." And then Visitor 3's brain is just going to fucking explode. What? That's it!
Let's move on. I'm done with fucking Jake and his dumb... You know, let's not bring up his dream anymore.
Well, you have to, because it keeps coming up.
We'll just say the dumb dream happens again.
The dumb dream happens, dude. Ugh.
Okay, anyway, they practice the cockroach thing. They're like, listen, we're going to infiltrate the HQ.
Yeah.
And they're ready to roll.
They...
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7.
They're getting ready to go into the HQ. There's like a weird abandoned building right next to it.
Yeah, so the way that they describe the Sharing's headquarters...
Yeah.
Not very suspicious at all. Listen to this bullshit. Our target was a single-story, whitewashed building. There was only one door, and the windows were high up, narrow and long. They were blocked off so that no one could see inside. There was a small parking lot with a dozen cars on it. Over the door was a sign, The Sharing, Building a Better Life. Yeah, right, Marco sneered. A better life for slugs from outer space. You notice the guy standing by the door? He looks like he's ready for trouble. A very large man stood by the door, muscular arms folded over his chest. So they have a building that's white with blocked out windows and a big, strong goon standing in front of the door. Hey, you want to be in a better world, you little fuck? Come in here. You better not try.
So they're getting ready to go into this building. They're worried about recording the movie of the week, which that was before my time.
Way before our time,
yeah, this is not a thing that exists now, nor existed when these books were written, really.
This was Kathy Apple's.
Yeah, her old brain leaked a little bit into this book. Her
senior citizen-ass brain. Or she thought, well, this is what kids in the mid-90s like.
But anyways, so they just want to get this done over as quickly as possible.
You know what we liked in the mid-90s?
What?
We liked stealing Legos. We liked Green Day's Dookie. And we liked Orange Julius.
I still like Orange Julius.
I haven't had one in so long. I think it'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Because they're just like orange milkshakes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Tobias is out surveying the land.
Yeah, he's like, I'll
He's
watch.
super jealous of owls, which I love.
Yeah.
It's a good, small character thing that they just kind of tack onto Tobias, but I love it because it's just like...
Yeah, he's envious of other birds.
Yeah, it's like... I like being a red-tailed hawk, but sometimes when I look at those owls and just, their long legs and their night vision, I'm just like, I get jealous. I love it.
And Jake even he's like, I made a mental note that Tobias was becoming more and more comfortable as a bird. It's like, Jesus Christ, Jake.
Yeah, Axe has a hard time being a human, which again is still hilarious.
Yeah, he just wants to keep eating. He would like just a little more taste, please.
He really wants that taste. Axe would totally eat a person, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if he wouldn't...
I think he loves all tastes. He loves every single taste. Not just sweet tastes, but all tastes.
Oh,
So-
every taste has got to be like a journey for him.
Right. So, given the opportunity, he would just straight up eat a person. Because, think about it, he's an alien. He understands that we eat animals. Humans are animals. He wouldn't be able to make the distinction of, hey, maybe it's wrong to eat people. So, I mean, okay, so they're getting ready.
And, yeah.
They find the abandoned building that's next door. They're like, okay, it's time to roach it up. Here we go.
They all agree that it's a spy mission.
Right, because
no violence.
The thing is Cassie says that in order to reassure Jake that, listen, we're not going to hurt anybody.
Right.
We're not going to specifically hurt your brother.
Right.
Should it come to it.
This is not a violence mission.
Rachel, do not turn into an elephant.
And she's like, I really love my elephant.
Rachel, don't turn into an elephant.
Don't you do it.
Don't go stomping around on people.
And...
So, but like, Cassie's looking out for Jake and his feelings. Simple as they are.
yes, very simple.
Right.
And honestly, Axe has one of the
I love
strangest lines.
I love this line.
Where it's like, Axe, you ready? Yes, Prince Jake. I am fully Andalite and ready to become your roach.
There's some weird, like, step on me daddy vibe from the sentence.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm ready to be your roach, Jake.
I'm ready to be your roach, daddy.
They change into roaches.
They change into roaches. They crawl through the wall.
They hate being a roaches. They constantly give references to, like, this is giving me the willies. They say willies like 20 times in this book.
They really, really like the willies.
Right. There's some good back and forth between Marco and Tobias, which I kind of appreciate.
You know, you guys still give me the willies, Tobias said. You should see yourselves. The urge to step on you is pretty strong. If I had shoes, I never did like cockroaches.
This is the guy who disembowels live mice for lunch, Marco said.
Don't knock it if you haven't tried it, Tobias shot back.
Yeah, like, it's some good back and forth. It's
Yeah.
like, they're feeling comfortable. Marco's feeling comfortable about Tobias being a bird, because before he was afraid every time he looked at Tobias.
Right.
Because it was, like, his eventuality of, like, I will turn into a
Yeah.
bird or die.
Yeah. They've normalized, and this shows Tobias throwing an insult back, shows that, one, their relationship deepened, and Tobias is more comfortable now in his bird form.
Right,
He never did that in the human form.
He readily admits that he is a bird and he eats mice.
Right.
You know?
It's a great little piece of ancillary development of better characters.
Right.
And Jake says, in some corner of my mind, I noted the fact that Tobias seemed more and more at peace with his weird life. Half bird, half human. It's like, fuck you, Jake.
Yeah, you
Fuck you.
You don't get it yet.
Fuck you.
It's not weird. It's what it is.
I made a mental note that my friend is at peace being a complete fucking freak. No. Fuck you.
He's always thought about Tobias this way, though. Just like this weird guy that hung around.
But it's like, someone does the emotional labor, does the hard work of accepting themselves, of accepting where they are, their circumstances, everything. And he finally has some fucking confidence, some fucking joy, whatever you want to call it, enough to step out of his own darkness, his own depression, to do banter with the group.
Yeah.
And you make a mental note that he's fucking weird and he's fine with being weird.
Here's my thing is...
That's fucking ableist as shit.
It is. It's total garbage. You know, Jake is not emotionally invested in the well-being of Tobias. Barely of Marco. Because remember, like, Jake knows the secret of Marco. Is that Marco's mom is head honcho of the Yeerks.
Head bitch in charge.
Right.
I love that. HBIC.
It's very
good.
Yeah. And that's Marco's mom.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, Marco's probably going through some things right now. But Jake does not have a single thought for Marco in a situation up until, like, halfway through the book. And only then for a sentence.
Yeah, he has one sentence. But Marco's checking on Jake.
Jake has no consideration for anyone else involved. He is just cruising along on life. I guarantee you, at the end of this book series, he will have learned nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
He'll just say, like, that was hard. War is hell. Okay, let's go.
I can't wait to go be a stunt man.
Right. He will never grow. And he there's no understanding here. he never comes to any new understanding about his situation in the world he lives in. He is just cruising through time.
Yeah. It's fuck you, Jake.
Fuck you, Jake.
Ugh.
So let's get in that HQ.
Yeah.
They turn into cockroaches. They scuttle around for a little bit, have a great time.
Yeah, they
and
get
then
in there.
They find a crack that leads into the main sharing HQ room where they're all talking. Right.
And they're just sitting there in a fucking pile.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, cockroaches congregate, right? They're not entirely social, but they hang around dark spaces, so it's not crazy to think that there'd just be a bunch of cockroaches hanging together. And they start spying in on the conversation.
Yeah, they can hear it, and it's like, God, what do they say? The yeerk says, "The day is here at last. It is time to strike the decisive blow in the invasion of Earth."
Great line.
Yeah. And they talk about...
Good line by bad guys. Yeah. I love it.
And Marco says, what is this, a yeerk pep rally? I mean, it's not. That's what they're there for. And then they're moving about.
Yeah, they're like, okay, everyone, act natural. Let's all be cockroaches.
And that's when we get Tobias.
Yeah, because Tobias is flying around doing surveillance, and he's like, hey, listen, guys, a limo just came up.
Yeah.
There's a limo coming in.
There's a limo coming.
But before we say who, I want you to think, listener, who's in the limo?
Right now,
who would be in a limo?
I want you to close your eyes, knowing what you know about this world. Mm-hmm. Who's in that fucking limo?
Visser 3 is in that fucking limo.
Visser 3 is in that fucking limo. Listen to this. Getting out now, like 6 guys. They have guns. I can see them under their coats. Now there's a guy getting out of the back of the limo. Who is it? Or should I say, what is it? He's a human. He staggered a little, walking toward the door. He looks like a normal guy, but all the others are acting very nervous. And I know this sounds dumb, but I get a bad feeling from this guy.
They don't even need to see him. Like, Visser 3 is so evil and loving it that they just need to, like, be around his vicinity. Like, I feel something bad is coming our way.
The evil emanates from this motherfucker.
He's that good at his job.
He's so evil. He's so fucking good.
Does he have a cane?
No.
Like, okay.
They only mention that he staggers because Axe staggers when he's human.
Right, because
he's not used to the 2 legs.
He's used to the tail.
Yeah, 2 legs bad.
Yeah.
What's that from?
In the book, they say, like, 2 legs bad. Like, how
no, but it's also from some other book. 2 legs bad. Is that an Animal Farm thing?
No, that's from this book. I don't know where it's from.
Listeners, write us in. Someone has to know what I'm talking about.
All right. Yeah, okay. Solve all of Tyler's problems.
So that all might see and agree, the laws of Animal Farm were inscribed in a prominent place, to be remembered and obeyed forever.
4 legs good, 2 legs bad.
2 legs bad. Please, solve my problems. But our boy comes in.
My brothers in arms, some loud booming voice said. I present to you our leader, Visser 3.
There was a gasp from the group. There was a silent gasp from us, too.
Visser 3.
Visser 3 had an Andalite body. He was the only yeerk ever to obtain an Andalite body with all its morphing power. But surely, Tobias would have mentioned seeing an Andalite getting out of a car.
This is the only time I really appreciate the recap of who this person is, what they can do, because it sounds so, like, serialized menacing, you know? It sounds like Rita Repulsa from the Power Rangers. They're like, here comes Rita Repulsa, evil lord of...
Right. And Lord Zed! Just...
Right, like, you know, like, it gives, like, that summary of, like, here's why he's evil, and here's why he keeps on showing up day to day, because he is so rad.
And it's quick, it's expedient, and we jump into Visser 3. I see that some of you are surprised, a new voice said. Surely you must know that I can morph a human as well as any other body.
So he's not playing around with his tongue, is what
No.
He has full confidence of that tongue.
He has full confidence. Oh, man. Visser 3.
Don't even.
No, he probably gets sucked. Like, he's probably the best at getting head. Just all I'm saying.
Listen, I disagree. I think Visser 3 has no need for taste.
Ooh.
He's too good for taste.
You
know, he's like, I have things to kill. I don't have time for taste.
I don't know. He strikes me as, like, hedonistic, dark pleasure kind of guy.
Yeah, but, like, he has priorities, and priority number 1 is to kill the Andalites. And he will not distract himself with taste until he gets that.
Ooh. The only taste he wants is the taste of destruction.
Exactly.
Ooh, I fucking love him. So he continues. This mission has 2 parts. 1, we will use the front hospital to take in voluntary hosts. Expect to be able to make 200 new controllers per Earth month. We will concentrate on police, broadcasters, writers, teachers, people in finance, and especially anyone in position of political power.
Which is a great plan. I love it.
Yeah, he's like, that's everybody.
Yeah. It's like, I have this plan. Let's take over everyone in a hospital.
Yeah.
And that's a good plan. Go for it.
Honestly, as someone who works in a hospital, yeah, take me over, buddy. I'd fucking follow this guy.
Well, it's a great plan because people fall unconscious all the time in hospitals.
Yeah.
You trust everyone in a
Yeah.
hospital because you have to, because you're in there for a reason.
Yeah. Everybody, and also all walks of life come into a hospital.
Right. It's not surprising to lose consciousness in a hospital, right?
Right.
If you come out a little bit weird in a hospital, then it's because whatever they did to you in the hospital is making you a little bit weird for a while.
And we do make you weird in hospitals. I've drugged up thousands of people. I've had people tell me the most uncomfortable truths of their lives. Fucking, over Christmas break, fucking sedated someone. Mm-hmm. And as they were going under, they're like, I bought my spouse this, and this for Christmas. I hope they don't find it. Spouse was right fucking there. And when the person was out, the spouse was like, do I tell them that I know? I was like, I don't know. Just pretend to be surprised. It's probably easier.
Yeah, and then you like slip a worm in their brain.
And then you put a little worm in their brain. I did.
Don't say you put worms in people's brains.
No, I'm not a controller.
No, of course not.
No. So
how would you know?
You wouldn't.
Right, exactly.
You don't pay enough attention to me to know.
It's the perfect front.
It is the perfect front. And they even say, we got the motherfucking governor coming into this hospital.
Right.
And
not just any governor.
Not just any governor.
Right. So imagine, if you will, this is, say, a Bernie Sanders who's coming into this hospital for a routine, like, listen, he has heart problems, but he's fine. Everybody,
yeah, he's fine.
like,
He's fine.
He's gonna live. He's gonna be a good president. But he goes in for checkups, and he's going in for a checkup at this hospital. And Visitor 3's like, listen, we're gonna get that Bernie Sanders, right? We're gonna put a yeerk in his brain, and then we'll have the United States president.
And no one would know because this thing is not me, us.
Right. He's all about collectiveness, right? He's all about bringing people together. So anyway. Visitor 3 rolls up with the pimpinest plan of let's take over the White House.
He's like, this governor is going to run for president next year, and then we got us a president. We're going to fucking take this. And then they realize, if that's it, then it's over.
Right, so they have to act. Of course they would have to act anyways.
They have no choice now.
Right, yeah. They didn't have a choice before, but they were kind of letting Jake play along with it.
They were letting
bit.
him off the hook, but they had no fucking choice. Come on.
Like, oh yeah, we should be okay with them taking over hospital. No. So they learned that information. They're like, okay, let's get out of here.
Well, before they do that, our boy, the Visser 3, says, "What the fuck, bugs?" And one of the Yeerks is like, "Sorry, a cockroach scared me. They're everywhere on this planet." And Visser 3's like, "You dumb motherfucker. Andalites can turn into any fucking thing. Those are Andalites. Fucking kill them."
Right, of course. Just like, so it becomes like this weird sequence of all the controllers trying to stomp these bugs.
Visser 3 just yells, "Fool! Do you think Andalites cannot morph creatures so small? Someone kill this fool for me. Blab, blab!"
They just like killed the guy
because the controller got scared by bugs. He dies.
He's like, "Sir, they're just bugs.
Kill this fool! Kill the idiot who's afraid of bugs!" Mr. 3, so cool!
Right, and like not only that, they know that Tom is dead if like he fucks up in any way. Because like he just killed this guy who said there are bugs here.
Hey, y'all see these bugs? Kill Bugman! I love him so much.
So so Jake jumps into the action as the leader. He's ready to go. He's like, "All right, listen, here's my great plan. Everyone for themselves.
Yeah, everyone for themselves. Run away."
He just like his plan is just like run.
Instead of saying, Marco, Cassie, you go left. Rachel, Axe, go right.
Right.
He's just like, Everyone run!
Let the roach brain take over!
Which, that's a direct quote. Kill those insects, Visser 3 screamed. Everyone for himself, I yelled. Spread out, run, get into cracks, let the roach brains guide you!
His plan is like, let that smart roach brain take over. Well, okay, hold on. Is it a bad plan? Not entirely.
Not entirely.
Because roaches, I guess, roaches are good at running away from danger.
But they also...
They need a way to, like, get out at the same time. Because, like, they separate.
Yeah, roaches aren't also going to naturally zigzag. They're going to take a straight line to whatever they think is safe. So a human could stomp them easily. But a fucking Animorph and a roach brain will zigzag and won't get stomped on.
Right, and also the biggest problem here is they separate.
Yeah.
Like, so they all scatter, they all kind of get away. And they do kind of the call off, like, okay, where's Axe? I'm here with Cassie. We're fine. We're kind of outside. Okay, where's Rachel? I almost got stomped. I'm on someone's like, okay, I'm out. Marco's in a toilet.
Yeah. Marco's like, hey, I'm near all the poop.
I think I can leave through this crack, though. It's cool.
Yeah.
And Jake's just like, I'm still in here, I guess. Well, no, he got hit by a paper.
He's hidden under some newspaper.
Right.
But he's like, they're going to stomp here. I better run away, but maybe not yet. And that's when he starts to hear and feel something off.
He smells something sweet and oily.
Yes.
Which, that he immediately knows, like, okay, that's poison.
I
I smell, like, insect poison.
Like,
they have a can.
He's like, this is some fucking raid. I'm about to get killed.
Right.
And Visser 3 made a good point. He goes, don't crush him, Visser 3 yelled. He may demorph to save himself, and we'll have ourselves an Andalite. He's willing to let this, what he suspects an Andalite, either fucking die of nerve poison, or turn into an Andalite.
Well, he wants the Andalite body. Like,
yeah, they all do.
They're pretty precious because, like, think about how high up Visser 3 got, and he got that Andalite body.
Yeah.
Like, if anyone can get a hold of a body that can change shape, like, they want it.
Yeah,
Right, so he's just like, hey, listen, this one right here, poison him, get his... Poison with the nerve toxin, like, make sure he's immobile, and then we can take his body.
Yeah, if he doesn't change, good, he's fucking dead. If he changes, even fucking better.
Right, so he gets sprayed. He gets sprayed with a little bit of poison. He crawls barely out the door. He's like, I'm dead.
He's like, this is it. I feel my body shutting down.
And then he hears, hang in there, Jake, Tobias said. It's me, Red-Tailed Airlines, welcoming you aboard, and I'm hauling your feathered butt out of here.
And it's... Tobias saves the fucking day again.
Again. Anytime that they get into trouble, specifically Jake, Tobias is always there to bail him out.
Tobias is the king of this shit.
Right. And so Tobias is flying away with Jake.
Plunks him on a roof.
Right. And he says, like, okay, morph now. You gotta morph. Because, like, he's dying.
Yeah. And Jake even says, it's really weird feeling your body die while your mind's alive.
Well, yeah. And he's saying that's how he's having a hard time to morph. Jake, you have to morph out of this. Do it. Concentrate. I knew he was right. It was the only way to stay alive. But it was so hard to focus when I was trapped inside a dying body.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Feel your pain.
It's hard to concentrate when you're dying.
And so he goes to sleep.
He has the dumb dream again.
He has the dumb dream.
So this is number 2. We're going to count all these.
I can't count all
Actually, wait,
these.
no. He starts the dream. He has another dream. And then he has this is the third one when he's dying.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has the third tiger dream where they go into detail about him hunting Tom.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up as a human. Right? They skip the whole, like, transition. I guess he turned human while he was unconscious, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like...
His body just went for it.
Yeah, so I guess, like, it's really more of a... It's less about the mind and more about, like, the gut.
Yeah, when my mind is uncertain, the body decides. It's a front bottom lyric, and I think it's apt.
Yeah, so he decided he wanted to be a live human, and he was. So
Which, I think more people should do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Abraham Lincoln, have you just tried being alive?
Have you thought about not being dead? Just be alive.
Yeah, be alive, you dumb fuck.
Worked for Jake.
So they're alive, and he's like, yeah, everybody's okay.
They made it. Tobias is kind of saying, like, save your butt. You owe me another one.
Yeah.
Which he does.
He owes him so many.
Right.
And Tobias says, yeah, I checked on all the other people. I went and checked. Visser 3 and Tom left together, and they look like best friends. They're fist bumping.
Well,
they look close.
It's even worse than that because this is from Jake's perspective, all of this. And he's saying, like, Tobias kept on, like, bothering me. He kept on wanting to talk to me. Tobias is always super talkative, right?
Yeah.
Right. I stopped looking for a ladder to the ground. Tobias was being too talkative, too persistent, right? So he's like trying to ignore Tobias as much as possible when obviously Tobias has some important information.
Right.
He's like, Tobias, what is it? What are you trying to tell me? He's like,
when Visser 3 left, Tom was with him. My first reaction was relief. Visser 3 had ordered someone executed in that meeting. It had not been Tom. How did they look together, Visser 3 and Tom? Tom was the only one from the meeting who went with Visser 3. Aside from his guards. Tom was acting sort of careful around Mr. 3, but he looked like he was pretty cocky around the guards. It's hard to say, Jake, but if I had to guess, I'd say Tom and Visser 3 are tight.
Yeah. Which, hey, who doesn't want to be tight with Visser 3?
Fuck, I want to be tight with Visser 3.
Right.
I'll never fuck up.
Yeah, like, don't do that.
So, Jake then knows that if they fuck this up for Tom, Visser 3 will kill him.
Yeah.
Tobias said nothing. He knew the answer. Those who fail Visser 3 die.
Yep.
A fucking man, brother.
True.
A fucking man.
Don't fuck up. You know how you stay alive? Don't fuck up.
Yeah, you either don't move up in ranks or you don't piss off Visser 3.
Cadronas are for closers.
Always be Candrona.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, we're
sorry.
chocolate. You're
Yeah,
right.
I'm chocolate.
No,
Sorry.
please keep talking.
I can't.
Yeah,
I'm
you
chocolate.
I got chocolate too.
That's how they get the good bodies, right? Is you move up in rank, right? So humans are for closers, and lice are for closers.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's right.
Geds?
Fuck Geds. We'll get to Geds later.
Geds are pieces of trash.
All right.
So, smash cut again.
Smash cut to some sports time.
Woo!
Sports time
we
with Jake.
love sports with Jake.
Like, Jake...
Could not have been more bored or zoned out.
Yeah, like, this whole chapter is about him just playing basketball with these people called Juan and Terry. We don't know these characters, and they leave without any significance.
And you don't trust anyone named Terry. Have you ever met a good Terry? Like boy Terry. Girl Terry's pretty good.
Yeah, with, like, an eye?
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
But boy Terry's?
No.
All bad. Every single one.
Like, it's short for Terrence, right?
I mean, could be. It could just be a fucking Terry. We don't like Terrys. This is not a pro-Terry, pro-cop podcast.
Sneakers squeaked on the polished wood floor of the gym. One of the guys on my team yelled, "Go, Jake!"
Oh, God, you're actually reading it.
Juan saw my move and came after me, but I was a little too fast. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Stop. Pivot back to Juan. Lock into the basket. Focus, focus. I jumped and arced the ball towards the rim. It hit the backboard. It bounced away. No score.
Oh.
Dang.
Dang, man. My fantasy, my favorite thing to do, I fucking suck at it.
No wonder you never left the team, Terry said, laughing as he helped. Like, I said that like the what is it, the Hork Bajur when they're talking to each other.
Yarmnar, get him. Ha 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 ha. Bad basketball.
No wonder you make Chima.
Yeah, man, Terry sucks.
Terry sucks.
And they talk about how Tom was really good, how he could have been the best.
Right, and like, and it's just like, it's trying to do the 90s teenager basketball talk, which is the funniest shit ever. Because every time I hear someone say the word b-ball, I immediately think back to Charles Barkley's Shut Up and Jam Gaiden.
Oh, I always think of the Fresh Prince lyric, shooting some b-ball.
Right, but nobody says b-ball. Nobody who plays basketball is like, let's go shoot some b-ball.
You know who says b-ball?
Who?
40-year-old white women in the mid-90s writing as children.
They do. And then they got weird. B-ball today, he asked. Cool. I thought it was going to be more wrestling. I hate wrestling. Getting up close and personal with sweaty guys. Not my idea of a good time.
And you know they used to do that naked.
The ancient Greeks used to wrestle with no clothes, I pointed out. Just be glad it isn't Greece.
Yeah, he's telling Marco that. He's like, if this were Greece, I'd be naked and we'd be
We'd
fucking.
be wrestling naked, sweaty bodies.
Be happy this isn't Greece because I'd be on top of you.
Here's the thing.
Dominating you.
Of course, of course Jake is homophobic.
Yeah, of course.
Like 100%. Of course he's like uncomfortable with like, well, not even uncomfortable. He's like actively saying like, what? Like, what, you want to have like the gay sport?
Yeah. Do you want to play gay sports?
Or do you want to play some fucking b-ball?
Do you want b-ball? Or do you want to play gay?
Do you want to be a man or do you want to be in a man? Do you know what I'm saying?
I do, and I know exactly which of those I want.
But like, you know, it Jake sucks in every possible way.
Every single way.
Every single way.
I don't. And it's
Jake, just be more okay with, like, you know, I don't know. Just be better.
Yeah, be better. Be best.
Be best,
Jake. Be best.
Right. So then they kind of like have an aside. They talk about the plan.
Yeah,
but
Marco like checks up on Jake. He's like, "Hey, how you doing with all this?" And he says, "You know, we have to do this by Tuesday."
Right.
And Jake's like, "Why we have to do it by Tuesday?" And Marco's like, "Well, I'm actually smart and good at this.
I looked it up.
Yeah, I actually got the schedule of when the governor's going to be in there, and he's probably getting his butt fixed." There's like 2 pages of them talking about the governor getting his butt fixed.
Yeah.
Sure, they say hemorrhoids, but I call it getting your butt fixed.
That's where the butt is, near the hemorrhoids. Wait, other way around. Let's swap it.
Man, I got a butt next to my hemorrhoids.
Right, and like this is where they kind of dunk on Cassie for whatever reason. Okay, I said. Tomorrow we need to think of some way to get inside the hospital, though. It looks like they'll be really on the lookout. And this is Jake speaking. Actually, Cassie already kind of came up with a plan. She has a great idea. What were you doing?
Right. Jake,
I rolled my eyes. Oh, man. I don't want to have Cassie's plan. I like Cassie, but this is the girl who suggested that we try an Animorph. Which actually was kind of a bad plan.
Well, they didn't know it was going to be a bad plan.
Right. She was the one with the only idea.
She had the plan.
She had the
Jake's
only
got no
idea.
plan. You want to know what Jake was doing?
He was playing b-ball.
B-ball with Terry!
With Terry.
I mean, Juan's fine.
Juan didn't say anything during that instance.
Well, he's like, Tom is pretty good, but Terry's like, man, you really suck at this.
Yeah.
You know who sucks? Terry's.
Yeah, it's true. Think dog poop. What? And then it goes to the next chapter.
Yeah. No ants, he said over his shoulder. I don't even want to know. Think dog poop. What? I demanded. But by then he was through the door and gone. And so like, Marco just says, think dog poop, and then runs away.
Just tell him.
Yeah.
Tell him the plan. Tell him that, like, you should be a fly.
Yeah, and it's...
They never even clearly spell it out. They just kind of, like, leave it at that for a while. It took me forever to figure out they were talking about being a fly.
Yeah, it's... And they do another smash cut. It's just...
Smash cut to him shopping for his mom's birthday.
Yeah, because Catherine Alice Applegate wants you to know it's very important to get your mom a birthday present.
I mean, well, hold on. It is important. It's important to get your mom... It's important to get anyone you're close to a birthday present, even if it's something small.
Right.
However, it's also important to think about what you should get them and what they like.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, like, cards are good to say, hey, I'm thinking about you.
Yeah, write them a nice note, some flowers.
What did Jake get his mom last year?
I don't remember.
Would you ever guess?
Oh, he got her Spider-Man 3. Yeah, the comic book. But I'm just going to interpret it as an update. He got her the 3rd Spider-Man movie.
Well, no, like, it says on here. It says Ultimate Spider-Man number 3.
It says Ultimate Spider-Man?
And mine does.
Mine says... It would appreciate a classic Spider-Man number 3 in almost mint condition. You know, that would be worth a shitload of money if it were real, but I guess Ultimate Spider-Man, yeah, that's fair.
You've read Spider-Man, right? Like,
yeah, and I've even read Ultimate Spider-Man number 3.
How's it?
I mean, it was the start of a better era for Spider-Man.
Would your mom like it?
No. No, she
So
wouldn't.
here's his thinking process. This is how empathetic Jake is. I should get my mom a present. I like comic books. Everyone's like me. I'm getting my mom a comic book.
Yeah.
Like, he just thought of a thing he likes, and she's like, okay, I'll get this for my mom.
I think of that Arrested Development bit where they're talking about Buster as a kid being angry at the maid, so he smashes what he thinks is the maid's favorite toy, which is that vacuum.
Yep. Like, he doesn't take that extra leap of, like, what is this person thinking and feeling?
No, he can't figure that shit out. He lacks basic empathy and intelligence.
Right. So he does make the smart choice of, like, okay, I'm going to ask for Cassie and Rachel's help.
So our protagonist, who lacks basic understanding of people and empathy and what motivates them and what they like.
Yeah. Goes to the mall.
Goes to the mall with Rachel and Cassie.
They're looking at various stores. They're like, nah, that one's too expensive. Or Cassie points out a store, and Rachel says, look at the name of the store. It might as well scream fat middle-aged lady.
Does it say that?
Yeah, mine it does.
Oh, it does.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Think about it. Rachel said, looking slightly perturbed by our stupidity. Look at the name on the store. It might as well scream fat middle-aged ladies. Jake, do you want your mom to think that she is fat? Jake's response is, no. I shook my head vigorously. But then I thought it might be a trick question. I mean, I don't, do I? Rachel rolled her eyes. No, you do not. Duh.
No.
Have you ever shopped for anything?
Oh, yeah, he bought Spider-Man 3 once. Jesus.
Jake is... Jake, hold on. Jake is a complete, by-the-books narcissist.
Yeah, a dud.
But well, yeah, he's a dud, but he's also like he can't comprehend the way people think ever.
I don't necessarily think he's a narcissist. I think he's just a stupid dud. Because narcissists in this world are cool. Visser 3, cool. Mm-hmm. He's obviously a narcissist.
Yeah.
Jake is not interesting enough to have a flaw that interesting.
Yeah.
He's...
But like something in his brain is broken, or at least it's been polished to a mere sheen.
His head is a b-ball.
He's got b-ball brain.
He's got a b-ball for a brain. All right. Podcast goal. From here on out,
yeah,
we call it b-ball.
Okay. Yeah, I'm never going to say basketball again.
Never.
Anyways, they go look around. They find a good skirt. Rachel's real good at shopping.
Rachel's so good at shopping.
Even, like, other characters in Jake's book suck now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they do.
They get polished to like, a flat nothing. Mm-hmm. That's how bad Jake is.
He's like that polished tinfoil. You ever see that shit? Just perfectly reflective.
Yeah.
That's what...
Anyways, this whole chapter is just them at the mall. Does
this even count as like team building or bonding?
No, it's about like how dumb Jake is. Like the only interesting thing happens near the end of the chapter when they mention like, hey, we're going to be changing into a fly. Have you seen the movie A Fly?
Yeah,
right.
They talk about the movie The Fly.
They start talking about the movie The Fly. I've never seen either Flies, both the old one or the new one with Jeff Goldblum.
I've seen the Jeff Goldblum one.
How was
I have
it?
not seen. Oh, it's fucking good.
Yeah, like it's a lot of it's body horror, right? Like that's
yeah, a lot
body horror with transforming it into an animal,
yes,
specifically a fly.
It's like the most Goldbloomy he's gonna get before it's a joke, and he's a young, handsome dude who's like. You can obviously tell he's fucking nuts even then.
Yeah.
But it's controlled. And he's like slowly turning into this fly. And I'm sorry to ruin the end of The Fly for you and the listeners.
It's old.
But he like fully transforms into the fly. And he attacks the woman. And he's like down on the floor dying. And he's like full fly monster now.
Yeah.
He puts the shotgun into his own mouth. And they just blow his fucking head off. Which is what Jake makes me want to do.
Help me!
Help me! Yeah, that's the thing in this book where they start quoting the original The Fly. I didn't get this reference.
I mean, do kids get this reference?
No.
Like, here's the thing. These kids are older, right? They're like 16, 15, around that range, right? The kids reading these books, sixth grade, right?
Yeah, 10.
I always just picture like sixth grader, like, you know, 10, 11, kind of that range. What 10-year-old is watching the movie The Fly?
Yeah, we had to look up this clip just to understand it.
Well, not just the older the movie The Fly, right? But like
even the Jeff Goldblum one.
Either one, because they're both terrifying.
Yeah, it's
right. Of my, I haven't seen them, but like you know that they seem like adult movies.
They are, yes.
Right, but I think Kathy Apples got a lot of her inspiration from the movie The Fly.
Especially this shit.
I think she was waiting to write the book when they turn into a fly. Because, like, that's all this book kind of really focuses in on is changing it into a fly. There's a lot of fly stuff in this book.
Yeah. They talk about how they don't want to do any social bugs anymore.
Smart.
Because ants really freaked them out, and it was horrifying.
Yeah,
and the ants make a comeback in this book in a really great way.
Yeah, they kind of experienced ego death, and they didn't like it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
And so, like, well, flies, they're better than bees. They're smaller.
Moths are too big and slow. Which,
Yeah.
Sure, I guess. I don't know.
And their plan is to fly into a hospital's open window. I don't know if that...
Well, like, I think that seemed okay to me as a non-hospital worker. Like, just fly into a window or going through the door. It doesn't matter. Like, there's ways for flies to get into hospitals.
It's fine. Although, I never see flies. I've never seen a fly in my hospital.
That's good, right?
Yeah, because we kind of
It's important that it's important for flies not to be in hospitals.
It's like, oh, we're just gonna fly into this open wound and lay babies.
Right. So
have seen maggots on wounds before. Not my favorite. They burst right out. It's gross. There's this one. Oh man, feet were covered in maggots. You had to like dunk it in a bucket of. Ugh.
Dunk, b-ball,
b-ball, dunking maggot foot right into buckets.
Squoosh.
Blah.
So they're still grossed out about turning into bugs.
Yeah, they are.
Like, they don't want to turn into bugs, which I get, right? But they're like, hey, listen, we just need to get into the hospital. Yeah. That's the only reason why we're going to turn into flies. We're not going to stay as flies. We just need to get into the hospital and cause some havoc.
Yeah.
Right, that's the plan. They think that there's a yeerk pool there, right?
Which stands to reason. If they're going to put yeerks in unconscious people, their yeerks have got to be close.
Well, yeah, my understanding is yeerks have to be near a pool because, like, they have a really kind of a short time limit.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Andalites have 2 hours, yeerks have 3 days.
Right. 3 days to find a pool to eat. Otherwise, they die.
Yeah.
Right?
Just die.
Right. So, stands to reason that there's probably going to be a feeding pool in this hospital. Right? So they just need to fly in there, find the pool.
Right? But before we get to that, the old Kathy Apples gives us the description of someone turning into a fly. Ooh. And I think I'll read that for you. Whew. You have to understand, Cassie was mostly still human at the point where the fly eyes showed up. She was about 2 feet tall and shrinking fast, and the extra legs had already popped out of her chest, and the gauzy wings were growing from her back, but her face was still a human face.
Wait, so pause there. So it's a fly body and a human face.
Human face. Until the eyes popped out. Oh,
I love popped out.
Yeah.
Like, so the human eyes just kind of like fall into the floor? Is that what we're kind of like?
No, I think they mean they like popped out protruding from her face, like fly's eyes.
Oh, okay, so like the eyes just kind of like started to grow over her head?
Yeah, like they just became like... I don't...
Yeah, because like if you think about like a fly's head...
Oh man, you think you've seen scary stuff? Maybe in movies or on TV? You haven't seen anything scary till you've seen fly eyes pop out of someone's head like a pair of balloons. She was pretty small by the time her fly mouth appeared. I was grateful for that. Because later, when I became a fly, I saw what a fly mouth looks like. The eyes were bad. But if I'd seen that long, tubular, sucking, tongue-like thing come rolling out, that thing that spits on the food, then sucks the spit mixture back in...
and Rachel runs out and vomits.
She watches this and pukes.
Which, they've done this a lot.
Yeah.
Why flies? Why are flies the thing that like really kind of hurts them?
Because it's disgusting. And...
So...
I think I've got...
Alright, so let's talk about the fly.
We're talking about the fly.
Help me!
Oh.
Here's some fly facts.
I'm ready. I'm eating some candy while I eat flies.
Hey, guess what? The first thing she said, absolutely right. Like, they just, like, vomit their stomach acid onto food and slurp it back up.
Oh, baby.
Man, I wish I could live that life, just, like, sucking all your food. Even better, they can taste with their feet. Well, here's something I learned, too, recently, is that humans can kind of taste with their feet, too.
What?
Here we go.
I'm a human.
If you grind up garlic and rub it on your feet, a half hour later you actually will taste it.
This is fucking bullshit.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true.
This is fucking bullshit.
No, this is real.
You're just smelling garlic.
No, well, kind of. Yeah, it's that I'm just saying that there's a connection. There's a connection there.
Okay.
Right. Flies can definitely taste with their feet. So anywhere a fly lands, they taste.
Oh, Jesus.
They do not mention this in the book.
Oh man, when they're all...
I'm tasting the floor.
I'm tasting my friend the red-tailed hawk's neck.
Even better, every time they land, they defecate.
Oh, God!
Because think about like a fly's GI tract. It's eating an only liquid diet. That shit is gonna go through fast. It's not like they have a lot of length there. Like anytime they land, any amount of pressure is gonna squeeze out a little fly poop.
I'm trying to think of all the flies that have landed on my face.
Yeah, and they defecate a lot. they have a lot of poop because they're always eating, which is why they're such a carrier of disease.
Amen.
Yep. They go into this later, but like, flies, like a lot of insects, they can walk upside down. Mm-hmm. They even talk about that during the cockroach scene, where it's like, oh, I was just like gliding up that wall. Mm-hmm. Because flies and cockroaches and many other insects have like little filaments on their legs that kind of go into the microscopic cracks and crevices, so they can just walk wherever they want. So flies with their eyes, they have like that like kind of dome structure, like that grid of like
that
tiny
Baxter Stockman kind of look. Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, I know.
That's how I think of it.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm picturing him puking on like a Ninja Turtle.
Just like slurping up a slurry of turtle.
Every time he landed to grab April, he just shits.
I got you now, April O'Neil. Well, okay, but like that grid is great because they have pretty much almost 360 vision. They can see behind them.
Ooh. You can see when the poop comes out.
Right, they can see exactly where they poop. So they also mention later on in the book of like they talk about like laying a bunch of eggs.
Uh-huh.
Flies are constantly breeding.
So flies fuck.
Constantly, because they have a really short lifespan.
How long is their lifespan?
Their lifespan is around 30 days, depending on the breed of fly.
Okay.
Like fruit flies, like last for less than a day. Like it's super short. They're constantly having sex and dying.
Damn, dude, we were born the wrong species.
When they turn into flies, they almost immediately fucked.
When? Did they?
No, they didn't. They didn't fuck in the book. But I'm just saying, like, if they did turn into flies, they would immediately be having at it and then laying eggs. Which has the question for me of, like, when you're an animorph and you're an animal and you fuck and you have a kid, how do you feel about that?
Listeners, write us in. Tell us how you feel about that.
Tell us how you feel about breeding as a fly. There's someone's fetish somewhere. They have unhygienic breeding habits.
Well, duh. They're constantly shitting.
They're constantly shitting.
I'm going to land on my fly partner's back and shit all over them.
Well, because they eat, like, they eat feces. They eat rotting carcasses, decaying fruit, whatever they want. So, of course, they're just, like, dumping eggs into those things. Because that's what maggots eat.
Right.
Right? And you mentioned, like, at your time in the hospital, maggots actually do a good job.
They really do, yeah. But these were, like, someone had let their skin die kind of maggots.
Right, but like those maggots weren't eating live flesh. They can't really eat live flesh. They only eat decaying matter.
Let me rephrase that. They were not clinically applied maggots. They were.
Do you have clinically applied maggots?
Oh yeah.
Like if I were to go to your hospital, it's like, listen, I only want maggots. Put maggots in my wounds.
Well, I don't know how my hospital does it, but yes, they are still a treatment.
Okay.
You can obtain them.
Right, because they only eat decaying material, so that prevents like septic shock or whatever.
Well, it mostly, like if someone's got a necrotic wound,
yeah,
one of the ways you can treat that without surgery is letting maggots eat the dead flesh.
Yeah, so
not everybody does it, but it still gets done. It's not good. Doesn't smell good.
Nope.
Don't like it.
But it does the job.
It does the job.
Okay. They only have one pair of wings.
Ooh.
Right, so only 2 wings.
Okay.
Right, because, after this scene, they talk about how amazing flies are at flying.
Uh-huh.
Right, because they're just tiny little helicopters,
Yeah.
pretty much. They can go a million miles per hour at their scale.
Right.
Right, but they only have the 2 pairs of wings. But they actually have, like, it's a kind of a genetic, like, leftover where they have, like, a tiny little, like, fly wing that does absolutely nothing.
I got one of those. It's called my dick.
Right, and again, like, this is just, like, housefly. Okay. Other flies actually do have it. Like, those extra wings have, like, a process. They call them halters. It's good for, like, stopping in midair. They kind of, like, wing flaps.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's about it for flies. They actually are... So, last fly fact. They have similar genes to humans. They do. They do. They only have 4 chromosomes, but those chromosomes are actually very similar to chromosomes that we have, which is why they're popular for reproduction lab experiments.
God, I wish I only had 4 chromosomes. All I'd want to do is fuck, eat, and shit.
There's your fly facts.
That's all I want to do now.
They love taste. They're
Well, they love poop. The whole thing is, man, I can smell poop everywhere.
Right. So, which is why, like, never assume that you caught a fly in time when they land on your food.
Oh, fuck.
Because even if you can't see it, because sometimes you can see, like, the little specks flies leave. Sometimes, right? But most of the time you can't. And as soon as they land, they squeeze out whatever poop they have in them. So if there's a fly in your bagel, cut out the part and eat the rest of the bagel. Don't waste food. But, like, just assume that they pooped there.
But I poop from there.
Now you don't.
There's some fly facts for you. There you go.
Fly facts. Thank you, Nate, for the fly facts.
Yeah, here's some fly facts. That's my fly facts. Oh, God, that's hard to say.
Fly facts.
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 Help me. Love this fucking book so much.
Right.
Ugh.
Okay. Well, they turn into flies.
They
contemplate, like, that was a really gross thing we went to, but being a fly is fucking great.
Yeah, they're like, this is fun. We're flying all over. And
Axe doesn't get it.
Yeah, they explain the willies.
Right, they explain the willies. And, like, I love that Axe doesn't really understand why they hate flies.
Yeah, Axe doesn't have shame. I fucking love that about him.
He doesn't have shame. He doesn't have the hang-ups about insects that we do.
No.
And part of me wonders, like, is that a cultural thing?
Probably.
I mean, do you think it is?
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be. They're naked the whole time. And their species has done nothing but morph. Why would they have hang-ups?
Why do humans hate? Like, do all cultures have a repulsion to insects?
Hey, all cultures, write us in and let us know.
Please do.
We're a couple of...
We're out of our element on on how other cultures, like, perceive bugs.
1, we are not experts. 2, maybe you are. Tell us what cultures think of bugs. I know I'm afraid of bugs.
I hate bugs. Bugs are one of my... If I have any phobia at all, it is a centipede in my shoe.
Oh, God. Or just crawling on your skin.
Right.
Like just burying its legs into your arms.
I don't have a problem with flies specifically, which is why, like, this kind of book doesn't really affect me. It's
no.
Like, turning into a fly, it's gross, sure, but it's no more gross than turning into a cockroach or a flea or a trout even.
Like, I'll kill a cockroach. Do I want one to touch me? No. Unless it's one of the singing ones from Joe's apartment.
Yeah.
Those guys seem pretty dope.
Joe's apartment. Sex, bugs, and rock and roll. What more would you expect from MTV?
Shout out to Joe's apartment.
Shout out to Joe's apartment, mid-90s. We're back. MTV Films, first one. But no, like centipedes, don't like it. Most worms.
I'm not a fan of worms. I'm not a fan of just bugs in general.
No.
But, like, Axe does not have the level of repulsion that he has, that the rest of the gang does. And that comes into play later on, too, is that, like, neither do the yeerks. The yeerks don't really, like, have the same, like, visual repulsion of, like, oh, a bug, gross.
The only visual repulsion they have is for Andalites.
Right, they hate Andalites, and Andalites hate yeerks. And, like,
and paladins hate jumpers.
That's right. Don't...
You can't see. I just completely stopped Nate's brain by saying that.
Ow.
Hey, we're our jumper fanatics.
Oh, I'm back. I just had a dream about tigers.
It's a dumbass dream. They turn into flies. They fly. They're like, okay, let's hop on the Tobias Express.
Right. Rachel's having a great time as a fly.
Yeah, they have a great time flying around. They're like, ooh, this is fun. It's easy to fly. We're fast. It feels great.
They can go any direction in 3D space. They're like, I can go left, right, up, down, BA, select start. And they're having a great time.
Yeah.
And this is where your favorite line of the book comes in, by the way. Right? They're having a great time as flies. Yeehaw! Axe yells.
Whoa! I cried as I blasted straight up what felt like the speed of light.
We are ugly as sin, but we are so cool.
Rachel exulted. We are ugly as sin, but we are so cool.
Put that on a shirt. I'd buy it.
Fuck, I mean, that's my life.
Yeah.
Let's go find some dog poop, Marco said. Kidding. Just kidding.
Buzzkill comes over here like, all right, we got important stuff to do. I said, Jake.
Yeah.
So Jake gets down to business, I guess.
So they're like, time to get on the bus, which is
Tobias.
Which is fucking sweet.
It's a great image of like 5 flies just like hanging out on this neck of a red-tailed hawk.
God, I hope he's wearing his little watch or has a little purse.
He doesn't have the watch anymore. I got rid of it because...
I know, but I really liked him like looking at his watch.
You guys have about a minute left.
And then it's
one of the really great small scenes happen here too.
Well, there's this little bit. Hop on the big feathery guy, Cassie said. Aim for the back of his neck. We don't want his wings or tail knocking us off. It's just a good thing I know you guys, Tobias said. My own little necklace of houseflies. It's enough to gag a maggot.
Gag a maggot? Marco echoed. Gag a maggot? Hey, pal, don't be dissing our kids that way.
Yuck, Tobias commented, and then we were off. I don't know why. There's something pleasing. Listeners, I want you to say this. After I say this, pause it and then say it to yourself. It's very fun to say. My own little necklace of houseflies. It's enough to gag a maggot. That's fun to say. Stupid as shit.
I'm gonna gag a maggot.
My own little necklace of houseflies. It's enough to gag a maggot.
I feel like
I'm going to say that at work. Next time I have to clean up a patient who shits himself or herself or their self, I'm just going to be like, oh, that's enough to gag a maggot.
What you should say, and I don't say this often enough, is yuck. I never say yuck.
Well, I say gross a lot.
Yeah, well, gross is a good word.
Whenever I'm asking for some, I'll be like, hey, Kevin, can you come over here and help me? He'll be like, coming. And I'll be like, gross.
Yuck.
I say disgusting things at work. I'm very sorry, everyone.
So they're all right in the Tobias Express.
Mm-hmm. Oh, baby. Yeah, they are.
They're having some cool chit-chat.
That's when they notice something.
Suddenly, a monster. It loomed huge in my compound eyes. Smaller than me, but still way, way too big. What the? I yelped. What's that? Cassie asked. Oh man, I think it's a flea. It looks like about the size of a poodle, but it's not even slightly cute.
Wait a minute, Tobias cried. Are you telling me I have fleas?
Just the one I've seen, I answered. No, he's gone. He probably jumped off.
Actually, I was lying. The flea was working his way along Tobias's skin, beneath the feathers, looking for a good place to sink his penetrating, bloodthirsty tongue.
Okay, we're at the hospital, Tobias said. I'll take a low pass and tell you when to jump off. So they get to the hospital. He kind of just drops the flies off at the hospital. He's like, "Oh, be back later."
Yeah, hey, catch you later. And you know what's really a bummer?
What? They pooped on Tobias?
Oh, they pooped on Tobias. I didn't even... God damn it, you've ruined this book for me.
Go on.
But I mean, I've ruined this for you by being horned up. There's no more Visser 3 in this book. Our boy's gone.
He has a presence even if he's not there.
That's fair. But
he's always looming.
I miss him, you know?
Yeah, you know what? We didn't get a cackling laugh.
We didn't.
There's no chase scene in Visser 3 here, by the spoilers, but he never shows up to chase him away.
No, it was stomping at best. Stomping and raid. They took chasing and lasers and biting away from our boy and replaced it with stomping and raid.
He did screech at them, which I was appreciating.
He did screech. Ah, man, I love Visser 3. Anyway, they're at the hospital.
Right.
They decide to split up.
Okay. Well, they decide to split up, but also it's like, hey, listen, Jake, do you want to go through with this? Are you cool?
Oh, yeah, they do that.
And he's like, thanks, but no, Tom or no Tom, the Yeerks have to be stopped.
Right. So they go into a room.
Wait, he says, I guess that was true. He's still not sure of it. He hasn't decided how he feels.
He hasn't.
Because he doesn't decide on anything, because he's dumb.
They're flying around the hospital. They're like, oh, that must be the maternity ward. I smell a bunch of poop. Oh, hey, there's poop over here. Oh, yeah, also poop here. Two things. Yeah, flies are really good at smelling poop. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's a lot of poop hidden at the hospital.
Good
and
poop?
That's...
Nutritious poop?
There's no good poop. I'm horned up, and there's no good poop. That's where we're going with this. But they smell something else. Something that they say is a lot like poop.
A banana?
No.
They do smell a banana.
They smell a banana.
Is it more poop?
No. He says, now I was getting the scent too. A dark, deep, rich aroma. Sweet and oily. And that's what they call it.
I love
They say similar to poop, but different. A strange smell. So, yeerk will smell like poop.
I mean, wouldn't they, though? Because think about it, when you drop kids off at the pool... No, hold on, wait. It's more of like they need to go down there not just to feed, but also just kind of like clean themselves and take care of their like bodily functional business. And that usually means getting rid of excess gunk. They're gonna be like taking a bath in their own shit.
It is
crawling out into a brain.
Oh, you got yeerk shit on your brain.
Yeah, well, they have yeerk shit on themselves. But like, think about it. They're a parasite. They're a worm. Worms, like, they just poop anywhere and they don't care.
Same with flies.
Right, flies poop anywhere. It's perfectly natural though, but it is poop they're swimming in.
Hey, you want to do a? Why don't we do a listener challenge?
Okay,
listener, from
swim
now
in
on,
poop.
No, from now on, I want you to tweet at us your best Animorph description of how poop smells. This one, a dark, deep, rich aroma, sweet and oily. We want you to do better than that.
Extra points if it's in a haiku.
Yes. And because I'm going to have a hard time thinking of my own turds as anything other than sweet and oily.
I'm more of a fan of a dark dip, rich aroma. Myself, personally. But that's just me.
Today I'm feeling awfully sweet and oily.
So they need to get to that sweet and oily aroma.
It's enough to gag a maggot. Sweet and oily.
Yuck!
I love it. So they start heading towards that scent.
Oh man, there is definitely something here, Cassie says. Over there. Do you see a big, shiny looking Superdome kind of a thing?
Yeah, I agree. I think that may be it. Does anyone see anyone in the room? Any humans? No one did.
Well, they can't see very well.
Yeah, they can't see well.
They can see things up close, but as a fly, you can't really see things far away.
Yeah.
So, okay, they say, like, axe demorph first.
Because you're the Andalite. You're
the Andalite. We want to still say, like, that we're Andalite warriors, too, because that's their cover, right?
That's the cover.
So, he does it. He's willing to do it. He loves doing it, because he loves to please Prince Jake.
Yeah, he loves being helpful. And then this happens. A violent vibration in the air. The eye disappeared from sight. And a second vibration. Like something heavy falling. Axe, are you okay? Yes, there was a human here, but he is unconscious now.
And when I read that, I thought he killed someone.
Yes, me too.
Like, it gets worse.
It gets so much worse. We demorphed as quickly as we could. When my human eyesight returned, I saw Axe, standing calmly in his Andalite form. Against the far wall was a man in a white coat holding a clipboard. He was crumpled and unconscious, but alive. Knowing your brother is a controller, I did not kill this creature, Axe said. I feared it might be him. No, it's not. But that's a good instinct, Axe. Whoever this guy is, he's someone's brother or son or even father.
I love how simple Jake's brain is. Because
it's the 1960s Batman simple.
Right. We can't kill them. They have mothers.
Yeah. Mothers, every one of them.
But
you risked your life to save that riffraff in the bar?
They may be drinkers, Robin, but they're also human beings. And may be salvaged.
Right,
it's yeah.
But like, of course you save them. Like, they're hostages.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not complicit. They're not doing this on purpose. They are literal hostages.
Yeah, some are complicit, but that is a small percentage, probably.
Right. Also, I like the idea that Axe might be face blind.
Oh,
because like he doesn't recognize, like, I saw this human. I didn't know if he was your brother. He's seen Tom before, right?
I don't think he has at this point.
Okay.
Not yet.
So maybe that's it.
But also, he's probably looking at humans like we would look at dogs. Like, oh, there's a cute one. There's a cute one. They're all dogs. I
can tell the difference between some dogs. Dogs I know.
Well, yeah. He's one of the good dogs. We know him. But, like, if you were to see mice, I can't tell mice apart.
Very true. So, anyways, they find the emptied out jacuzzi that I guess they used for like physical therapy. Is that a thing? Did your hospital have a jacuzzi?
No, I don't think so. But they find a jacuzzi.
They find a jacuzzi, and Jake really comes into his element here. This is the one thing that Jake is good at. It's his calling as a whirlpool repairman.
I thought you meant yeerk killer, but no, you definitely meant as a repairman.
Well, yeah, because he's like, oh, I've got this. And he like pop opens the panel and starts rewiring the jacuzzi to turn on and to boil them alive.
Yeah, because the pool is full of gray water. It's full of yeerks. He's watched them swim around. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to fry these babies.
Who
Who wants boiled yeerk tonight, baby?
He rolls up into him and he says, well.
Yeah. Yeerks, Axe said. With that combination of disgust and pure hatred Andalites always showed, a portable yeerk pool. There must be a very small Kandrona nearby.
And they do the great thing. Props to Jake on this one. Let's boil him alive. Axe, are you good with us boiling him alive? We'll boil him alive and spinning them around real fast, kill him. Axe looks puzzled. I believe the heat and agitation might destroy them.
Well, that would be a pity. I made a quick decision. Axe, watch the door to the hallway. Cassie, we may need you in some more dangerous morph. What have you got? Wolf. Perfect, but no howling.
Jake loves murder.
Jake loves murder. Well, I think he loves repairing and then doing murder on top of repair.
And he loves stunts. So they go forward with this plan.
Yeah.
Like, he does it, like, so smoothly.
There were no tools in the room, but I did find some tape and a pair of tweezers. That was all I needed. I began reconnecting wires. Red to red, blue to blue, green to green. Without the switches, the settings would all automatically be at maximum. Maximum heat. Maximum jets.
He's a jacuzzi savant.
Yeah.
It's the only competent thing he does.
He's like, colors good, colors same.
Well, he knew also just like, it's going to default to the highest temperature.
Yeah. It's like, I know jacuzzis.
It's fine. Again, that's his calling.
And he does think it couldn't be this easy, but guess what? It was.
Well, it was for a while.
Yeah.
Like, they do the dumb thing of, like, not blocking the door, which I don't get. Why didn't they lock the door?
Because
Why don't you lock the door when you're
dumb.
murdering, like, the evil alien invader pool?
Right. Jake says, okay, time to boil some yeerks. I reached down and stuck the plug in the outlet. It took a few seconds, then the boiling sound began. The familiar jacuzzi bubbling. The door opened. A man and a woman, both wearing white lab coats. For a split second, they froze and stared.
And the lights!
The woman yelled. Cassie was on her in a flash. She leapt, hit the woman hard, knocking her to the floor. Axe moved toward the man, but the man was fast. He dodged, staying out of the range of Axe's tail. So
and then it evolves into a series of murders.
Yeah, so let me read this. I'll do this next part. This is good.
It's real good.
But then 2 more men dressed in uniform as guards came flying into the room. The first one leveled a gun. Axe! I shouted. A gun! Axe's tail flashed. Ah! The controller screamed. The hand that had been holding the gun was no longer attached to the man's arm. He fucking slashed off his arm.
And then, like, they start, like, calling other guards, like, hey, listen, get back up to the pool area, and the lights. Then he drew his gun, blam, blam. So here's where, like, I got a little bit lost with the writing. They told me later there was a third shot, but I didn't hear it. A sledgehammer blow struck me to the side of the head, a ricochet. For a brief second, I clung on to consciousness, but then I swooned. I fell, face down in the whirlpool, face down in the bubbling, boiling mass of dying yeerks. So, did he get shot?
He got shot by a ricocheting bullet.
So
Still would have killed him.
He's dead. Jake died.
Like, he should have died from that.
Right, because, like, it's not like... Even if... It was enough to knock him over.
Yeah.
It was enough to stun him.
Well, he's not going to remember it, which is why he says they told me later there was a third shot.
But it's
a massive head injury.
It's piercing. Like, you know...
he's dead. He's
dead. It's not like he got hit with a 2x4. Mm-mm. He got hit with a bullet. Yeah. Even a ricocheting bullet would kill you.
It just means that he's got that extra thick, dumb skull.
You know what it did? It ricocheted off his smooth brain.
Yeah, shot right back out.
You know, he probably got Phineas gauged and nobody noticed. It's like, oh, then I woke up.
I'm always angry and I don't feel anything. Me fall asleep now. Fucking. So he falls face down, unconscious in the superheating yeerk pool.
Right.
That's when he feels it. I don't know for how long. When I woke, I had 2 terrifying, overwhelming feelings. One was suffocation. I had breathed in a lungful of liquid from the pool. I came to, gasping and hacking and gagging. I was alive, but I could hardly breathe. Each breath was a struggle. I coughed, and I think at some point I threw up. The second feeling was a pain in my head. Pain like nothing I had ever even imagined before. It was like someone was drilling a hole in my ear, drilling straight into my brain. I remember reading this as a kid.
Yeah.
And being fucking terrified. Because you know what's happening.
Right, yeah, no, like, he's getting yeerked.
Yeah, he's getting yeerked.
He's getting yeerkbrained right now.
I wanted to scream, but I was still choking. I was on my knees on the floor of the hospital room, wanted to cry from the pain and gasping for every half breath of air. All the while, a battle raged. They were trying to get in the doorway, but it was too narrow for more than 1 or 2 human controllers at a time to attack. Axe's tail and Cassie's long wolf teeth were enough to hold them off.
Blam. Like, so...
He's dazed from getting shot in the head.
Yeah, he just shrugged that one off.
Let's call it what it is.
He shrugged that one off.
He feels something drilling into his brain.
Right. And you know, he doesn't quite realize what's going on. He doesn't acknowledge that he's being yeerked yet.
He doesn't know, but we know.
Right. And here's the great part. Cassie's murdering a bunch of people right now.
Yeah.
This is the first time Cassie's done a murder.
And it's... I loved this little bit of line from one of the controllers. "Stop firing, you fool," someone shouted. "The pool is in there. Visser 3 will eat your guts."
Yeah, because he will.
He will eat your fucking guts.
There's no question about that. It's not like, you're just exaggerating. No, he will eat your guts. He will slurp your intestines.
He will eat the yeerk in your brain, then consume your body.
You know what? I was wrong. He loves taste.
He loves taste.
So
Jake's getting fuzzy.
Yeah, Axe and Cassie are getting overwhelmed by the guards that are coming in. And then all of a sudden, our good friend, the huge gorilla, comes in.
Yeah.
Marco and Rachel come in, and, you know...
the elephant's there, stomping around.
Right, doing their thing.
Gorilla picks up Jake. He even says, "Rockabye baby."
So Jake is still slowly waking up.
Yeah, he realizes he's not moving.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting picked up by Marco.
Rachel turns into an elephant because, of course, she does.
Because that's her one move, and you know what? God damn it works.
It works really well. She murders so many people.
They do a lot of murder spells here.
Well, here's the thing. You hear a crunch. She crushes skulls with her foot.
Boom, whump, crunch. Well, I guess that's them bursting through the door, but she probably also, if there were people on the ground, she probably stepped on them.
So Marco is carrying Jake like a baby, has him covered in a towel, and is swaddling him.
Which I think is what Marco wants to do anyway, given the way he talked about Jake last book.
You know, like, sometimes you want to be cradled by some big, strong arms. I get it.
Yeah, you do.
Right? And so he says this. "The gorilla peeled back the coat that was over my face. You alive? Man, that was intense. That is one hospital that's going to need some redecorating due to the amount of human blood on the wall." Like, no, really, that's what he's saying. It's like there's so much viscera around the place that they need to redecorate it.
Yeah, we smashed it. We crunched a bunch of dudes. We did a lot of
They need to clean up all those innocent dead bodies.
All of the arms, Axe probably cut off. Maybe a few heads.
Unfortunately, like, Tobias isn't there. He's not snatching eyes like he usually does.
Well, no, he was
like doing surveillance. He couldn't do work in a hospital. There's nowhere to fly in a hospital.
Yeah, and it was too far. He couldn't thought speak them. He had disappeared.
Right.
And it's fine.
But then Jake starts to hear like a little whisper in his head. "Don't worry, take a break. We have it under control, more or less."
Unbelievable,
said a voice in my head.
Can it be?
What was that?
Human?
What was that voice? Where was it coming from? Marco lifted me and slung me over a horse's back. Cassie,
a human, yes. And Rachel, the cousin, human as well.
My hand tried to pull the coat away from my face. What was happening? There was a voice inside my head. Yeah, we know what the voice is at this point.
We know what the
obviously
voice is.
know that's a fucking yeerk. You got worm brain.
You got a worm in your brain, you fucking idiot.
What is that?
What's this voice? Man, I can't move. This is weird.
Don't struggle, Jake.
A voice said in my head, "It's
pointless."
What?
Who was saying that? Who was that?
Then a laugh only I could hear.
Put that primitive human brain to work, Jake. Jake the Animorph.
It sneered.
Jake the servant of the Andalite filth.
Then he figured it out.
Then I knew. I knew what the voice was. A yeerk! A yeerk in my own head! I was a controller.
Yeah, you have to spell it out for Jake. He really doesn't make that leap.
He started this book saying, "I'm Jake." He's fucking dumb.
And, like, here's why I like this yeerk. This yeerk that has invaded his brain. Because he immediately says, "You big dummy, very good. You figured it out."
Yeah.
I had to spell it out for you.
No. And then they're all like, hey, okay, what's going on? Why won't you talk?
Right, so he's in the sunken place, effectively, right?
Yeah.
Where he can hear everything that's happening, he can see everything that's happening
I wanted to tell them both to scream, they have me, they are inside me, but I couldn't make my mouth move. It was like there was this roadblock. Like I could form thoughts, give the order to my lips and tongue to speak, but the order never got there.
Struggle all you like, human. Fight me.
The yeerk gloated.
Go ahead. It won't matter. In the end, I am in your head. I am wrapped around your brain like a living blanket.
No!
And his smooth-ass brain just...
yeah, like a blanket. Because, like, he doesn't really need to work hard to get all those neurons together.
No.
I can read your thoughts. I control your body. I am tapped into your memory. I can read it like a book.
Get out of my head. No. Okay, wait, I'm sorry. Jake does not sound like that.
That's how he sounds. No! Bad alien brain! He's dumb.
Oh, I don't think I want to do that, Jake. Why would I abandon such an interesting host? So you are the one who has driven Visser 3 half mad with rage. The kid. The midget.
But he's got the yeerk in his brain.
And the yeerk is just, like, fucking loving it. He loves us. Like, I'm in control!
Yeah.
Oh, the irony is really sweet. Don't you get it, clever Jake?
It's like, aren't you just the dumbest fuck? I'm going to be the governor. Oh!
Which is a great set of circumstances.
I used to be your brother. Now I'm going to be the governor. But first, I'm you. But soon, the president.
It's great.
This yeerk is a fucking evil piece of shit, and I love him.
He has, like, the best middle management, like, aphorisms. I love it. Because, like, that's the thing. He just wants to move up. He just wants to be... He wants to be, like, so the yeerk system is set up in, like, number ranks. Like, he's currently, like, 120-something.
Yeah, and then when the yeerk, it's 112, I believe.
Okay, 112.
Temrash 112.
Sure.
Fine. But he finally says, yeah, I also controlled Tom. And Jake's like, what? And he goes,
I thought that might interest you. Yes, Tom was my host. Then he's free?
The yeerk laughed in my head.
You're even stupider than your brother.
True.
That's what I wanted to get to.
No, your brother's body has been given to a new yeerk, someone with a lower rank. I am too important now to be wasted on Tom. I am to take on a new and important project. A very special host.
The governor!
Jake, Tobias thought speaking to me, you can hear me move your hand.
Well, not a complete idiot, are you?
Well, I would disagree. Definitely a complete idiot.
Yeah, the complete moron.
Yeah, he was going to be... This yeerk was going to be given the governor's brain.
Yeah. So he was moving up in the world and he was feeling it.
Yeah.
Right, but he almost got boiled alive and now he's stuck in Jake.
Yeah.
But he's still fine. He's still got that positive attitude of like, hey, now I got all these analytes. This is great.
Yeah, he's like, oh, wow. Man, went from... What is that saying about the damn frogs? Out of the pan and into the whatever?
Into the French person's mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went from out of the hot pan into the French person's mouth. So, in this case, the French person's mouth happens to be... He finds out who the resistance is.
Right. He's well, because he has complete access to everything that's in that dumb brain. And it doesn't take him long to absorb all that information.
No, he's like very... It's one, either easy for yeerks to do it, or two, Jake is just a complete fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's a book you can read in like an hour.
Yeah, this is actually taking longer than it is to read the book. We're not sorry. Go fuck yourself. Especially if your name's Terry.
Yeah, fuck Terry's.
This is an anti-Terry podcast. Reiterate it.
So he echoes back of like, I know everything.
He's like,
I know Cassie. I know Marco. I know Tobias. I know Aximili Esgra Thirkifil.
Yeah.
Which is Axe. Cause
that's Axe. We don't want to say that every time. That's way too much word.
Yeah, right. He knows everything that Jake knows.
And then he finally pops out of it. Nothing is the matter with me, I said, quite suddenly. I'm fine. Only I didn't say it. My mouth spoke the words, but I didn't say it. The yeerk had spoken through my mouth. And this is a good sequence of him, like, being trapped in his own body.
Right. Yeah, he's been Malkoviched. He's been taken over. He's a complete puppet, and he's like, I think He doesn't quite see himself in the third person, but he's seen like what he's seen through his eyes. He can feel everything.
Yeah.
Kind of.
But
he has no control of what he's doing.
Can you imagine if Jake got Malkovich into his own brain? It'd just be, you know how in the movie it's just like Malkovich. With Jake, it's just him eating paint. No. B-ball. Jake, paint, B-ball.
It would just be him, copies of him, just like doing 6 stunts and shooting hoops.
B-ball. Jake, B-ball.
Netherfjord.
B-ball. Fucking stupid. Oh, I hate him.
It's his paradise.
Ugh. And he fights, he tries to fight, and all the while this yeerk is like, you dumb motherfucker, that ain't gonna work. I'm so fucking smart.
Yes, little human, the yeerk sneered silently. Your body is my home now. Mine. Body and mind under my control. Forget resistance. It is futile. No host has ever overpowered a yeerk. It is impossible.
Except for that one time when it totally happened.
Well, like, for a moment. I think the point he's trying to make is, you can't beat me. You might beat me for a second, but you can't beat me.
What about Chapman? Specifically Chapman.
That works for like 30 seconds.
That's all that needs to happen. He just needs to be like, I'm Jake B-ball. Oh no, yeerkbrained.
I mean, yeah, that's what he needs to do.
Right.
Jake's witnessed this, but think of it this way. What we know about Jake. What do we know about Jake? I'll answer. He's dumb. He's dumb and he's weak-willed. That's why he can't overpower the yeerk.
I was going to go with he has no love for his friends. He does not have the love that Chapman had for his daughter.
No.
So that's why he can't overpower this fucking yeerk.
He doesn't feel love for them. So he's like, oh man, this sucks. I guess I'm this forever now.
Oh, well. Stop. Okay, that didn't work. Please stop.
I felt a dark wave of terror wash over me. He was telling the truth. I knew he was. No host had ever defeated the yeerk. Resistance was futile. It would never be free, just like Tom. If this yeerk moved on, they would give me to another. I was a slave forever. Fucking pussy.
He gave up
immediately.
Like, here's the thing. Credit, it's probably real hard.
Yeah, but if you cared about something, like Chapman, or Chapman's wife,
right,
you could, for a moment...
And he's seen this. He saw this.
He witnessed this!
Right. He should know.
I fucking hate Jake.
But he's just like, it's impossible.
He's a passive, empty vessel for plot to happen to, and there's nothing inside.
Right.
Which, obviously, the only thing cool inside of Jake is a yeerk. That's all.
Yeah.
He's fucking dumb, and I wish this yeerk was a good guy and just stayed in him.
I was rooting for the yeerk this entire last part of this book. I wanted the yeerk to get away with the Jake body.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
No.
And so here's what happens, is that they finally escape the hospital. They're walking along, right? And they meet up with Axe.
Yeah.
And just like a gut reaction that yeerks have to andalites is repulsion and anger and disgust.
Moment.
And he couldn't hide that. He had a sneer, just the slightest sneer. And Axe immediately tuned in on that, and he pointed at Jake and yelled, "Yeerk! Yeerk! You're yeerk! You've been yeerked!"
It was the end of Body Snatchers, where Axe just went...
Right.
But with his fucking scorpion tail penis.
Right. And pinned him against the wall and was about to tail his ass. Everyone's freaking out.
I'm like, whoa, Axe, what the fuck? And they're like, oh, he's a yeerk.
Yeah, he's obviously a yeerk. He sneered at me. Prince Jake loves me.
Prince Jake loves me? He wouldn't do upside down face at me.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he's saying.
Right. And Jake, so I feel bad for this yeerk because he's not great at lying.
He's just like... The yeerk is such a bad liar. He doesn't even try.
Right, he's just like, this is crazy. The yeerk tried a disbelieving laugh. Like, Marco, Cassie, hey, would you please tell this nut that I am okay?
Hey, this blue centaur we got, he's a loco.
I am not a yeerk. He's gone a cuckoo.
Hey, if anyone's a yeerk, it's probably him, right?
This andalite scum.
Immediately, it's like, this andalite garbage.
Like, he's so bad at lying.
And it's, yeah, We don't have to go over all this.
No, because like they
acts as like he was acting like someone who got yeerked. They appear like they're in a coma, and then they pop back to it.
Right, and yeah, he's like, it takes a little while for yeerks to take over a brain. You know, I think he said like 5 or some minutes. For Jake, it's probably 2.
Yeah. A tight 45 seconds. Right. He just rolled over and showed his belly.
But they noticed it.
Yeah.
Right. And so just to be safe, we should be cautious.
Yeah.
And everyone in this group is paranoid. They're all paranoid.
Yeah.
And they all saw him fall into the yeerk pool, so it's a possibility.
Right. And they're walking along, and this yeerk is like, hey, you guys are all nuts. Let's just go home. Everything's fine. And that's when one of these other dinks, the smarter Animorphs, is like, you know, if you were really Jake, you'd know that you couldn't fight this and you'd be trying to help.
Right.
You'd say that we were right to be suspicious.
You would know both Rachel and Marco enough that they wouldn't just give up on this.
Right.
And so like you kind of fighting this really means that we should be even more suspicious. This is not something Jake would do.
Yeah, and then the fucking yeerk goes off. They want to lock him up for 3 days just to make sure.
Yeah.
And so he says, look, it's like Cassie said, my folks will go nuts if they lock him up.
Yeah.
They'll call the police, they'll go on TV asking if anyone has seen me, they'll be putting up posters all over town. I mean, no offense, Tobias, but I have an actual family, not some messed up aunts and uncles who didn't want to be taking care of me in the first place. People will notice if I disappear. I turn to Cassie. Cassie, come on, explain it to them.
Damn!
But
here's the thing. You know, Jake might say that. He has no respect for Tobias at all.
Here's why I don't think Jake would say that. He's not smart enough to say that.
He's not smart enough to empathize with the feelings of others.
Yeah, he would not know how to exploit someone's feelings.
He does not even acknowledge that Tobias didn't have a family.
Yeah.
He just kind of cruised. This is the first time he's mentioned it.
Yeah. He's never, like, he mentioned it in his first person point of view. He's never said anything.
Right.
And he certainly wouldn't be that so blatantly cruel.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, maybe he is fucked up. And they're like, well, let's just have Axe turn into Jake.
Yeah, and just like
take his place for 3 days.
Yeah, he can do it.
And then, well, I mean, the yeerk in my head was not happy. What's the matter, Temrash114 of the Sulpniar pool? I asked, not feeling quite so cocky anymore.
I love that pool name. It's a good pool name.
The Sulpniar pool. Temrash114 reporting for business.
We name our poop pools. Hey, Tyler, what's the name of your toilet?
Greg.
What about Sulpnar?
They're like, okay, yeah,
sure.
Let's do that.
Axe acquire Jake,
and the yeerk's like,
well, yeah. When he goes to like acquire Jake, the touch repulses him so much that he just like flips out.
Yeah, he's like, get your hand off me, and like filth,
you damn dirty ape.
Yeah. Which I mean, if a fucking blue centaur touched me, I'd
be skeeved out. But like, whatever. Jake knows Axe at this point.
When my ugliest friend touches me, I'm good with it because they're my friend. I don't freak out.
Yeah,
I'm like, Bryce, it's cool if you touch me. and that's when Rachel says, well, at least now we're sure.
Yeah, like it's pretty obvious now that he's...
Yeah, Andalite filth, Tobias repeated the yeerk's words. We're supposed to believe Jake would say that. Jake. Because he was stressed out? Nah, not in this universe.
I mean, occasionally when I get angry at somebody, I kind of say human filth. I just like...
Yeah, it's...
Stop touching me, filth! You know, sometimes I just flip out like that.
Yeah, well, next time I'm angry, I'm going to say, don't touch me, you filth!
It just happens.
You are garbage. You've dirtied me with your touch, filth.
Oh, sorry, I'm just so stressed. It's been a long week.
Man, today's been really hard. For a second there, I thought you were filth. So
they're like, all right, let's tie him up in a shack.
Let's tie him up for 3 days in a shack. Tobias is like, hey, I know a shack.
Yeah, well, of course he does.
Of course he does. Because they can't do any of their houses. They can't do Cassie's barn.
Right.
So they're like, okay, we'll go to this shack.
We got to find a place to hide somebody for 3 days.
Right.
So they find this, like, drugged up shack.
Could you find a place to hide someone for 3 days? This is unrelated.
Yeah.
Go on.
Wait, you lived in Roseburg.
Oh, shit, we could totally do it there.
You just need to find any, like, you know, somewhat rural town near a highway. You know, probably has a meth problem.
Yeah, and my uncle's got a bunch of not my uncle, my grandpa's got a bunch of property.
Yeah.
And he's kind of getting dementia, so
right.
No.
You could hide someone tied up there for a couple of days.
Yeah, do you know any yeerks that we
right.
can take out to the woods?
Yeah.
Any filthy yeerks that we could take out there?
So they're walking along to the shack.
They're going to the shack.
They're going to the shack, and then like the yeerk this whole time is like, I'm still feeling good. I got this.
Yeah, the yeerk's like, whatever, we got this shit.
Here's what I'm gonna do. First, I'm gonna turn your friend Cassie. She seems the weakest emotionally.
Yeah. Cassie's the weakest. She loves you, and I'm going to use that.
Right. You know, he's just like picking apart the situation. It's like, I got this.
And then if that doesn't work, Marco's circumstances means I can turn him.
Right. I'll just say like, hey, listen, I know how to free your mother. Hey. Well, he doesn't say that, but like, you know,
that's what he's thinking.
You can make that interpretation of like he has some leverage. He can like turn you guys against each other. It's cool.
Yeah.
Which honestly he probably could have.
Yeah, he definitely could have.
Right?
It's God.
And so like Axe is like this entire time is just keeps on prodding him. It's like,
not so bad a day, Axe piped up from behind. How many yeerks were in that pool? How many survived those temperatures? Only you, by getting inside Prince Jake. How many of your pool fellows died today? I could feel the yeerk boiling with rage.
I love how like Axe is just like loving, just like he's loving this war a little bit.
Axe, I mean, this is what he was born for,
right? He's like, you know, he captured that Nazi. He's like, hey, how many of my friends did I kill back there, huh?
Yeah, it's like, hey, how many of your friends can I just cut their arms off, huh?
Oh,
you dumb slug.
Oh, I have one in my pocket. I'm just gonna squeeze his head. Should I squeeze his? Oh, I killed him too quickly. Oh, dang.
Man, God, I was gonna make him suffer, but instead I'll make you suffer.
Yeah.
Darn.
But he's loving it.
And it's, I mean, do you blame him?
No.
The yeerks killed his brother.
Killed his like.
They've been at war, the yeerks and the Andalites forever.
Right. Yeah, he's feeling spiteful. He's feeling it.
Axe knows what to do to push this yeerk's buttons, and it's like, it was shocking and bizarre to feel so much emotion. It was something he could not hide from me. I could feel his emotions, even though I could not penetrate his thoughts. So that yeerk is losing it.
Right.
I love that.
But like he's not losing his cool, right? He's still trying to play along that he is still Jake. Axe, the yeerk said. I'm never happy when any creature has to be destroyed, but I don't feel pity for any of those dirty yeerks.
Yeah.
Dirty is not what it was.
No. You're out to enslave us. We did what we had to do. It was perfect. Exactly what I would have said. Because it was exactly what I felt.
Right, because like, you know, he's playing off like, I don't care about those guys. Whatever. Yeerks, better off dead. Don't need them.
So, you know what I like about this and what I've kind of thought about it?
What?
There's this little bit where it says, out of the corner of my eye, I saw Cassie looking at me with a puzzled expression. See, already she has doubts, the yeerk said to me. She is bothered by the Andalite's bloodthirstiness. She liked what I said more. Was he right? Would all my friends stand firm? How could they when every word I spoke sounded exactly like me? I think Tobias is telling them what to say via thought speak. I think they played him from the start.
Really? Like, I don't get that. Like, what makes you say that?
Because later, when they've got him in the hut, and Rachel falls asleep, quote,
right, yeah.
Cassie's waiting in owl form. They basically heard this yeerk all through the forest, through a series of traps. They were coordinating this from the get-go. Once Tobias realized that Jake was a yeerk, he's done this before. He's privately spoke to other people. Yeah, he probably did that to all of them.
They can do that. And since we're so locked into this first person, like, yeah.
Because it's like, but all this shit happens, and you wonder, when did they plan this? They're planning it now.
I'll give it a maybe. I mean, I feel that they're definitely working better as a unit without Jake as a leader.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, this plan,
that guy sucks.
Like, so yeah, just to get ahead of it, like, anything this yeerk tries immediately gets fouled up by the Animorphs. Like,
yeah, they tie up Jake. They're going to watch him in shifts while Axe goes to be Jake.
Right.
At home.
Yeah. And, like, they work like a machine. They're like, okay.
They're perfect.
They're the perfect team now. Like, Tobias is flying above and kind of keeping a track, just like, because he's the one that can be there all the time. Yeah. Because he doesn't need to go back and report to parents.
Nope.
Right. And then there's usually a human there kind of watching over Jake. And then Jake, the big dumb idiot, forgot that he can morph.
Yeah, Jake the fucking idiot Like, Rachel's watching them. The yeerk, Jake, and Rachel eat dinner in the little hut. And then Rachel goes to sleep, but not really asleep.
Right.
And so the yeerk just starts laughing. He's like, well, I got this shit.
Right.
He turns into the tiger and sneaks out. And he's like, I'm not going to kill Rachel.
Right.
Because Visser 3 is going to want to turn her into a yeerk. Which, hey, good thinking.
Yep. Grab yourself a Indolite.
Yeah.
Or a human who can morph.
And so he slinks away.
Yeah. And then, like, so he slinks away as a tiger, and then what happens? Like
he starts smelling humans, so he's
Right.
like, oh, I'll just go towards the humans. That's where society is.
Right.
And Jake's like, why are you smelling humans? There shouldn't be humans out here. And he's like, whatever, that's society. We're headed towards that way. So they're going along for a while. And Jake's like, you're going to hit the 2-hour time limit.
Yeah, because he's getting lost. Like, he doesn't know where he's going.
The tiger doesn't know where to go.
He keeps on following the humans then, but that goes nowhere.
Yeah, it keeps changing, and he's, like, walking in circles.
Right.
So he's like, well, fuck this. I'm going to turn into the falcon.
Right. So he's like, I'm going to turn into a falcon morph. I'm going to fly away. There'll be no sweat.
Yeah, I should have thought of this earlier. I'm just going to fly the fuck away. So, you dumb. So he starts turning into the falcon. He feels a thump. He's like, oh, fuck, that hurt. And then a thump, thump. He's like, oh, my wing is broken off. When he gets a thought speak from Cassie saying, hey, I'm an owl. I can see at night and you can't.
I'm going to eat your shit. Because again, Tobias knows exactly what bird because he's been watching owls this entire time.
Which is why I thought Tobias arranged this whole thing. He's like, we need an owl. Someone to watch at night.
Yeah, you're right.
Tobias did this. He coordinated this attack.
Tobias knows birds?
If there's one thing he knows, it's birds.
The one thing he's like always wanted to be is an owl. He can't. So he's like, Cassie, just go be an owl.
You gotta rip your boyfriend's arm off.
It's cool.
And so he says, fine, I won't be a bird. I'll be a fucking wolf.
Right. That doesn't go well.
That doesn't go well either. So he's like, oh, this wolf has a sense of direction.
Right.
Oh, I can smell.
And he can move really fast, too.
He can move really fast. And he's like, oh, the humans are this way. We'll just head towards the humans.
Right.
And he wanders. He's running as the wolf. When he's like, wait, I smell other wolves.
Right.
And Jake's like,
he hears a howl.
And he hears a howl.
He's like, oh, yeah, that's the alpha wolf. You got to watch out for that guy.
He's like, yeah, you're in the same spot where wolves tried to kill us, and they're better at being wolves than we are. The howling you're hearing is my friends alerting the other wolves. And so Marco shows up in human form.
Yeah.
Next to this wolf. And he says, over there, a pack of wolves ready to kill and eat you. Me, I'm here with my elephant friend.
Like fucking Rachel as an elephant.
Rachel shows up an elephant. He goes,
she loves that elephant.
Yeah, you might eat me. You might kill me. But you know what? We've always said better dead than a controller.
That's right.
And Rachel will kill you, and she's fast.
Yeah,
and he's
they're
like,
so well coordinated. Like without Jake there to saying, I don't know, scramble. Like they have a plan. They follow through on the plan. It's perfect.
Yeah, they get this yeerk to realize it's fucking futile.
Right. So like all he does is just like goes back to the shack, falls asleep, and like starts toying with Jake a little bit. Like this is when he gets into those like fantasies.
When he starts fucking with him.
Right. He's just like, listen, Jake, I can.
Yeah.
I know your deepest, darkest secrets.
The yeerk is like, here's my fantasy. I'm gonna be a Visser. I'm going to be promoted. Everything's going to be perfect. And Jake's like, yeah, you have a lot of fantasies there, dork. And the yeerk goes, you're going to make fun of my fantasy? You, Jake, making fun of my fantasy. Let's look at your fucking fantasy. And Jake's fantasy is the dumbest fucking shit in the world.
We need to read this in its entirety.
Take it. Take it away, man.
And then, to my horror, I was no longer in the cabin. It was a bright, huge gymnasium. But not exactly a gym. A sports arena. Yes, with thousands and thousands of fans. I felt like crawling away. I knew this fantasy. It was kind of lame, I guess. But I couldn't escape. The yeerk could play my fantasy as easy as watching a video. In my fantasy, people were cheering. And there I was, in a pro uniform. I was older, but I looked pretty much like myself. The game clock was at 5 seconds. 4, 3. I set up and took an incredible 3-point shot in the mid-court. Swish. Like, it's the dumbest shit. It's dumber than him, like, you know, if I could be any animal, I would be a stuntman.
He's so fucking dumb.
It's the dumbest thing. Like, that's his dream. He just wants to, like, fucking shoot b-ball.
And
it's just like the crowd goes wild and they all love me.
Yeah. First prize. First prize. First prize. Oh, it's just god awful. So they get back to the cabin, and the yeerk is fucking pissed off. He's like, you humans are so fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. At least when a yeerk knows something is futile, they just fucking give up. But you humans, you fight so much. You don't give up even when you know you're going to die. And Jake's like, yeah, that's why we're going to win. And the yeerk says, that's the thing about your world. You got a lot of fucking species. You got too much fucking shit. You're just fucking bonkers. And Jake, to his credit, I mean, the yeerk says,
this is a savage planet. We will tame this world, and we will take it over.
But I don't think even he believed it anymore. It was around 9 in the morning on Saturday the yeerk first took over my body and my brain. By Monday evening, when the sun went down, he was growing distracted, unable to concentrate clearly. And that's when he tries to turn into the falcon again. And my favorite part of this whole book happens. Yeah. He tried to take on the shape of the bird shape again, reforming the peregrine falcon. It was daylight this time, and Tobias landed while the falcon was still half morphed. He grabbed the falcon head in his talon and simply explained that if the yeerk did not demorph, he would be killed. For the first time, the yeerk broke his silence with the others, and he spoke as a yeerk. If you kill me, you'll kill your friend as well, he warned. Yes, Tobias said. I know. You won't do it. Right from the start, we have all said the same thing. Better to die than be a controller, Tobias said. But in any case, I don't need to kill you. I can simply put your eyes out. A blind falcon doesn't fly far. Our boy, the eye thief.
He loves eyes.
He loves ripping out eyes.
Well, because, like, what else is he going to do?
Well, I mean, what else is he going to do? But what else is he good at?
Do it. You play to your skills. Like,
yeah.
You know, he knows what he's good at. He's good at snatching eyes and taking names.
And the yeerk fucking gave up. He morphed back.
And and like, this is the saddest. This is when he, like, actually really gave up. Yeah. Like, before, he's tried so many things. He tried to turn into an ant. Almost got ripped apart.
Yeah, he did try into an ant. He got ripped apart.
It was
morphed
great.
back.
We learned that one.
And the yeerk says,
you think you'll win. You won't win. Your people are blind to what is happening. The Andalites will not return in time.
Maybe, but you won't be there to see it, I said. Must be 4 a.m, 5 hours left, tick-tock.
You're a cruel little human, aren't you?
I don't think so, no.
You know I am dying and you laugh at me.
What do you expect? Pity? He laughed.
No, we don't offer pity. We don't expect pity. We are the masters of the galaxy, conquerors of the Hork-Bajir and...
Yeah, I know. The mighty yeerk empire.
So Jake is, like, really getting into, like, torturing this guy.
Yeah.
Like, he loves just, like, you know, yeah, you're going to be dead soon. How does it feel to be dying?
Yeah. Hey, what's it like to be fucking dying?
Dunk!
Guess what? I was a cockroach once and my body died. How's it fucking feel?
Yeah, remember ego death? No, you don't? I do. I got out through it just fine.
Yeah, look at me. I'm great. You know why? I don't feel anything because I'm dumb.
Right. And this is where, like, the yeerk kind of really just, like, expands on the yeerk civilization a little bit more.
Yeah.
We yeerks evolved as parasites, not predators. Unlike you humans, we did not kill to eat. We were peaceful. We took many different species as our hosts. And as they evolved, so did we. Over time, the Geds evolved. They were sort of like a monkey, I suppose. We were in the Geds till the Andalites first came. Some of our people still have nothing better than Geds for hosts.
So if you're a trash tier yeerk, you're in a Ged.
You're in a Ged.
Which is, like, I'm just assuming, like, a slow blob monkey.
And that's when the yeerk taunts Jake. What about the Andalites, I asked. What happened when they came to your world?
Of course. The Andalite has not told you their story, has he? What a pity. Such a fine story. Ask your pet Andalite axe sometime. Ask him the story of the Andalites and the yeerks.
So it's like, I bet the Andalites did some shady shit.
Really?
I think so.
Well, you know, you've read the
Shut up.
But, like, because here's what I thought. I thought it was more of, like, a thing where the Andalites landed, probably tried to help the yeerks to, like, you know, evolve and you know, reach out into the stars, do the whole Star Trek shit. And they just probably got yeerkbrained as a result. Like, there, let me help you. It's like the first Native Americans that helped out the Pilgrims.
Oh, let's hold on and see where this goes.
That's my theory. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll get there.
We shall see.
Right, so...
That's when dawn hits,
Yeah.
and that's when the fugue starts.
I like the name The Fugue.
Me too. That's what Axe calls the final hours. And it's...
So, like, they kind of say, like, this is probably going to be painful.
Yeah, this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt me a lot more than it's going to hurt you.
So it hurts Jake, right?
Yeah.
The fugue is going to hurt both parties.
He feels the yeerk die.
Yeah.
And he also is given a vision.
Well, yeah, because, like, the yeerk is kind of just doing a brain dump of all these feelings and emotions into Jake because they can see the same thing, right?
Yeah, which is what I do in relationships.
Yeah.
It's like the end of The Crow, where he's fighting Top Dollar, which is the villain of The Crow's last name. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't.
Pulled that from memory.
Okay.
And, like, Top Dollar's killed his crow. Brandon Lee's mortal. They're sword fighting. Top Dollar stabs him in the stomach. Brandon Lee's like, I have this for you. It's 17 hours of pain and misery. I don't need it anymore. And he touches Top Dollar's head, and he feels all the pain of Brandon Lee's girlfriend dying in the hospital, all the sadness, all the rape, all the abuse, everything, all at once. That's what the yeerk does to Jake. The yeerk,
but he gets extra. It's more than just the pain. He gets also, like, a little bit of yeerk history.
He does get the yeerk history. The vision was dim. The hearing was better. The yeerk had been excited at getting his first host. He had subdued the Ged mind with ruthless ease, crushing it with his superior intelligence and will. The memory made me sick. The Ged's bewilderment, his fear, and the yeerk's fierce arrogance. That's when he remembers being a hork bajur.
Yeah.
So the fugue, the final hours of the yeerk's life. I was watching him die. A lot had happened to me since I first saw the Andalite Prince land on the construction site. More strange things than happen to most people in their entire lives. But the strangest was this, and the saddest. The yeerk cried in pain, again and again. The visions came floating up, crystal clear as if they had just happened. Visions of the good times in the yeerk's life, and of bad times. The emotions were strange, alien. I guess that's the word for them. There was no memory of love. I guess yeerks don't do love. But there was affection, pride, fear, regret. Those I could understand.
So, do you remember the end of Slither?
Yeah.
Where they all turn into that blob and, like, one of the characters gets, like, a slither in the air. It gets a yeerk.
Yeah.
Because, like, hey, guess what? Slithers are actually probably just yeerks.
Yeah, it's why I probably like Slither so much, because they're yeerks.
Yeah, go watch Slither if you haven't.
If you haven't seen Slither, go see it.
Right.
Finish this podcast.
Yeah, no. Listen to all these podcasts.
Listen to them all 2-3 times. Then do Slither.
Then watch Slither.
What the hell happened to you, Otis?
Poison ivy out back, maybe?
We're itchy. No, they're not my parents. They're trying to trick you. The worms are in their brains.
Seriously, Slither, great fucking time.
Yeah, so, like, you know how, like, she gets, like, the flashbacks of, like, every single animal the Slither has taken over.
The Slither crawls into the girl's brain, and she sees for half a second the history. This is what's happening to Jake.
Right.
Slither stole from Animorphs.
Yeah, a little bit.
I love Slither.
Oh, no. But, like, okay, so, but, like, he's like, okay, I am now feeling being into, like, a Ged, which is, like, a monkey thing.
Yeah.
I feel being in Hork-Bajir. Every single, like, thing that this yeerk has taken over, he feels.
Yeah, and
including Tom.
Yeah, and then the memories I feared most. Tom. He had joined the sharing for a simple, silly reason. A pretty girl he liked was a member. He had wanted to get close to her. He had gone to meetings. He'd played along with them, never guessing the truth. All he cared about was the girl. He had stumbled accidentally to a secret leadership meeting. He thought the girl was seeing another boy, but she was one of them. He had followed her, wandered into the meeting, and seen Visser 3. Visser 3 in his Andalite body. I saw the controllers grab a yelling, punching, kicking Tom. I saw as they tied him up, carried him through the secret passageways to the great underground yeerk pool. I saw him scream as he realized what was happening. I felt his fear. I felt his rage as the yeerk slug crawled into his ear and wrapped itself around his brain. I felt every ounce of his despair. That's some heavy shit.
Yeah, no, it's bad news. But on the plus side, the yeerk's dying, so that's good.
And on also the plus side, the yeerk was no longer in pain. It was beyond pain.
Hey, so that's nice.
I want to be beyond pain. Fuck.
Yeah.
As the yeerk's dying, Jake's able to regain some control, and the yeerk...
So, you win, human.
The yeerk shuddered. I could feel it. A physical spasm. My vision changed. I felt... It's hard to describe. I felt as if I were seeing through things, into things. Like I could see the front and back and top, bottom, inside of everything all at once, and then I saw it.
So this is where I'm like, What?
Yeah.
What's happening?
And then I saw it.
A creature.
Or a machine. Some combination of both. It had no arms. It sat still as if unable to move on a throne that was miles high. Its head was a single eye. The eye turned slowly, left, right.
So why is Sauron here? Like, what's he doing? So, like, there's this machine that has a big eye that is just, like, seen everything.
Yeah.
So like, and not only that, like, it does the whole Sauron thing, too, where,
and
like...
it sees him.
It sees Jake.
It saw me. It saw me. No, I cried in silent terror. I looked away. When I opened my eyes again, all I saw was a weird glow. The glow faded little by little. I was trembling. It's over, Jake, Cassie said. I rose slowly to my feet. I moved my own legs, was in control of myself again. I looked down on the wooden floor of the shack. A gray slug, not 6 inches long, lay there, still. As we watched, it withered and shriveled and became nothing.
I like how it slides out of the brain, because I always assumed that it would just, like, stay in the brain.
Yeah, or, like, melt out of the ears as liquid or something.
No, but it's just, like... Well, in normal humans, yeah, but, like, with that smooth brain, it probably...
Oh, yeah, it just slipped right out. Went in one ear, right out the other.
Just, like, yep.
Fine.
Super goopy. Now everything's normal and fine.
Yeah, everything... Another smash cut.
Because, like, Jake got over this real fast.
Yeah, because he doesn't have feelings. He has no idea what trauma is.
He's just like, huh! Oh, there's a thing in my ear.
Wow. Look at slug on floor. Dead. Not.
Well, he's probably got a little bit of brain damage from that bullet to the head.
Yeah, he did take a bullet to the head. It's fine. So, Jake does his first thoughtful thing in the last chapter of this book.
What's that?
He turns into a wolf and calls his brother.
Wait, before we get there, remember that like Axe has been Jake for the last couple of days.
Axe has been Jake for the last weekend. He gets home, and they're like, Jake, why aren't you eating? And he's like, I'm just not that hungry. He's like, wow, the last 3 days, all you did was eat. You ate all the dinner and a whole pie.
You kept running around yelling for taste.
Yeah, you kept yelling. At one point, you were like, potatoes.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Boil them, mash them, boil them, mash them.
And so I just love the idea of Jake running and clamoring for taste, eating 6 pieces of chicken, an entire pie, and then leaving. Because he can only be human for 2 hours.
Yeah, he's like, I have to go.
I'll be back. Bring more pie. I need taste.
Hey, if you could stop and get a few more chickens, I'd like to eat them all, please. And, wow.
It's a good bit. It never gets old.
Yeah, and he thinks... So, you were a total pig, Tom said. Chicken, corn, potatoes, or as you kept saying, potatoes, toes, tatoes. I thought you'd gone nuts. And were you suspicious, yeerk? I thought, looking at my brother.
The answer is obviously yes.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Why aren't you suspicious?
Yeah, and so
he does the dumbest thing ever.
Well, I don't know if it's the dumbest thing. It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
But
like Jake does not have this type of emotion usually. So like this is kind of a break of character.
Yeah, it's a break of character, but it could also be growth, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's say
he turns. So we all met in Cassie's barn. Stupid. And I used her dad's cellular phone to call Tom at home. I went partly into wolf morph before I did, just enough to make smallest changes, enough to change the shape of my mouth, tongue, and throat, so that my voice would sound very different. He picked it up on the third ring. Yeah? I mean, come on, Yeerk, you don't answer yeah.
I have a message.
I said in a thick, twisted voice that did not sound at all like me. What? Tom asked.
Don't give up, Tom. Don't ever give up.
He hung up.
Think about how weird that phone call would be. Yeah, I get it. Like, you were talking to Tom, who's being controlled, who's in the sunken place and has no way to interact with the world.
Yeah.
But also, at the same time, a twisty wolf mouth is calling you.
I just thought of a great idea. Let's start calling people we barely talk to and masking our voice saying, don't ever give up.
I love you. It's the dumbest thing. Because, like, it's touching, but also weird.
Which I think is the Animorphs. It's touching but weird.
Because, like, honestly, when you read it, it doesn't, like, hit you as, like, it being a weird thing. But, like, if you actually think about it and sound it out for a second, it's strange. But, like, yeah, they're like, that was very touching. Good job. Do you think the real Tom heard it? He heard it, I answered.
And, I mean, honestly, Jake knows, because...
Yeah, he was there. He knows firsthand what it's like.
And Tom is a part of him now.
Right.
He has been Tom a little bit.
Yeah. And, like, he felt Tom fight back against the yeerk.
Yeah. Well, what'd you think of the capture?
It's going to lead us down a dark path of possibly bad books. I didn't like the capture as much as I liked the other books, because, like... The other books were character studies. You got deeper into, like, Marco, and deeper into Rachel, and deeper into Tobias, which was great. But this, you can't go deeper into Jake. You ricochet much like a bullet, just right off his brain.
You slide off his brain like a yeerk.
Right, and so instead, he is always going to just be a vehicle for the story to move along. And those are the least interesting parts. Hell, I'd rather even just be... Like, I want a book where it's just like the brain of Visser 3. Wouldn't that be rad? Or like the brain of this yeerk, right? Of
Temrash 114
or Innis 226. Like, hey, that would be a good story.
Yeah, he got promoted above Chapman. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I know. But like, but like, you know, those have something. Like, they have a message and something you can take away with at the end of the day. Of like, okay, you know what? I think I learned something from this book. I learned jack shit from this book. I learned about a weird Sarnai. I learned
there's a flesh robot ball with a big glowing eye
and the fugue, and they did a bunch of murders in a hospital that we're not talking about.
Yeah, and they did mention that the hospital closed. I guess we could say that.
Yeah, they closed the hospital. Like, ruined the plan because they didn't want to spend time on it. Like, that's the thing, is that, like, none of this plot was really even that important either.
No.
It's just kind of like I wonder what's that like. One book later, yeah, that's what that's like. To have a yeerkbrained.
That's it.
They crawl in there, and, you know, if you wait 3 days, they'll die in agony. You know, and all Tom does, all Jake does is just blend up some yeerks. He doesn't learn anything. He doesn't grow as a person. He calls his brother as a wolf mouth, and that's it.
His only growth is through the memories of someone else.
Yeah.
He can't even grow himself. He has to use the memories of someone else.
The only way that he can empathize is having a slug in his brain. And that's Jake.
That's Jake.
That's our leader, everybody. Jake the leader.
He's the best. He's the boss.
And I know that Jake books are going to be the worst. And I know that probably the plot-heavy books are going to be this kind of vibe, and I'm not looking forward to those as much. But you know what? Like, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll love the hell of it. Maybe. I liked parts of this book. Like, I enjoyed the evilness of the yeerk. I liked how he was just like, I've got you now.
Yeah.
You know, like, that shit was great.
That's interesting. That's
fun.
That's different.
I love evil characters who love it. And, you know, like, this yeerk loved it.
And it's finally someone interesting in Jake's brain.
Right.
Because it's not him.
Yeah, the slug is interesting. Jake is not.
No.
So.
Temrash. We're going to miss you from the Sup Niar pool.
Yeah. Like, so we've had two sad deaths. One was Price Cup Polly. The other one was Temnash.
Oh, man. I don't even...
What do you think? Did you like this book?
Yes. One, I liked the yeerk.
There were some good Visser moments.
Yeah. Visser...
Kill the bugs! Like, it was great.
He's never not good.
Yeah.
I would say yes, I enjoyed it, simply because once he gets shot in the head, the book becomes immediately probably 3 times more interesting than the rest of it.
Right.
Because
we have a new perspective.
Yeah, I don't care much about the morphing descriptions because I'm not masturbating to it.
We've had enough of them. I think we've had like 6 books of those now.
I care about character development. And minuscule though it may be, there was some for Jake. In that at least now he has a deeper understanding of how destroyed his brother is.
For a little bit. Like, is this going to carry on after this book?
I don't want to say.
I don't think so. I think it just kind of, like many a bullet and slug, just slides right off.
It says more about the other characters without saying it. Like, They're an efficient team without Jake.
Yeah.
They're good.
They're good, and not only that, they're ruthless. Like, they're just like, if Jake has to die, like, he signed up for this. We're all willing to lay down our lives.
Yeah.
So, your move, I guess. You get more insight into yeerks, which I enjoyed.
You get some taste.
You get a little bit of taste.
You get a secondhand taste from Axe.
Yeah.
How would you rate this in taste? I think we should rate all our books from here on out is how much taste we get in this book.
I would say it has a dark and rich aroma.
I would also say that it's sweet and oily.
That's Animorphs.
That's Animorphs number 6, the
number
capture.
6, the capture.
So yeah, you can follow us on all the places we've said before. Do we need to say them every time? If they're this far in, who's starting on number 6?
Follow Nate Boyd at Baitnoid
just follow
on Twitter.
Me, whatever. Listen to one of the other ones.
Call me at
5, 4, 1,
7, 8, 4.
No, stop.
I can cut this out. It's fine.
Don't.
Everyone just try to guess it. It'll be fun.
Just keep. There's only 9,999 options.
Are you gonna like?
And we might be lying. You can actually reach me at 541-222.
You can reach me at Ennis226 in the Kajurna pool.
I am located in the Supnyar pool next to my boy Temrash.
What was the moral? Let's end on that moral.
The moral of this is:
watch out for tiger dreams.
Don't have dumb dreams.
Don't have dumb dreams.
Have you ever had a dreams that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?